All right, Alistair is our reigning champion. What are your thoughts on Imperial setup for this map?
All right, let's take a look at the map. I made the map, and for anyone listening, we're doing this game as an exhibition game, hopefully a learning game, a chance for everyone to learn something about the game. I on any map, I almost always go for either a 3 or 4 fleet setup with the Empire. And I think this map you can get away with the 3 fleet setup. You're going to want a fleet on Rhodia for sure, and so you can cover Bothawi. You're going to want a fleet on Satlokami 100% because you got Mon Calamari to cover, and then you need a fleet in the middle. Well, yeah, maybe 4 fleet as usual is better because you really don't want to leave Coruscant empty either. So Rhodia, Salu, Coruscant, Sullust is going to be 4 fleets. What do you think? You agree?
Yeah, I think so. The only question is which is the weaker fleet. I think it's probably Coruscant. What do you think? Maybe
Yeah,
Solus.
I almost always put the weakest fleet but on well, it depends what we mean by weakest. For me, I like to have the Star Destroyers with the transports. Right, so there's 3 fleets. That's 1 Star Destroyer plus 1 assault carrier, and the Death Star is by itself. And that's because you don't need to worry about the Death Star being attacked on turn 1 because it's indestructible. You can't hurt it. So I would probably put the Death Star on Coruscant, and then the carrier Star Destroyer combo fleets. They're more flexible. They can split up and go in separate directions if they need to. So I'd have those 3 on Sullust and Rhodia and Salutami.
And then that Death Star fleet basically beelines towards Dantooine as the situation dictates.
Yeah, that's right. That's where it sort of needs to go eventually. Not right away, probably. That's probably not going to be a turn 1 move, but we'll see if see what they do. Yeah, because you start with Corellia here, you really don't need to have. If you have both a Star Destroyer and a assault carrier on Coruscant, they really only have one direction to go anyway. So you really only need 1 ship. So having 2 is kind of a waste.
Yeah, makes sense. The only potential drawback is if they draw um, threaten the core turn 1, and they could load up on ground troops and attack Coruscant and blockade it and get the score the objective possibly.
That is absolutely true, and I find that like the more I look at map setups, the more I realize that like the setup that I think is best in every other situation is always the setup that's vulnerable to that tactic. And since it's only a 1 in 10 that they start with it, I always decide in the end that it's worth risking it.
Yeah, you just go with one ATST on Coruscant.
You figured out my favorite split of the ground troops too. Yeah, that's right. That's my favorite ground army to put with the Death Star. Splitting the ground, you're splitting your fleet 3 ways, 4 ways, is fine, but trying to make 4 big ground armies is just big enough. They're all easily enough to be defeated if you try to make 4 of them. So one ATST sort of punches above its weight if it's by itself. It can be beaten, obviously, but it can do sort of a lot more damage than it's worth. So that's the most efficient thing to have. I find if you're going to have 3 good ground armies and then just something with the Death Star. And if you get really lucky, that could even thwart the
Hello, sir.
threaten the core. Oh, looks like everyone's showing up.
Alrighty, should get started here shortly. So I've got the spectator view and some inside knowledge. Rebels will be
Let me
starting
know if you
with
can hear me.
decisive action, or excuse me, decisive victory, which I think is an interesting objective to start with. A very tempting objective to try to
All
score
right,
turn
sound
1, but
check.
a
Can
difficult
you hear
one.
me?
All right, let's listen to them get set up for a bit, and then we'll resume our commentary.
I can
Okay,
hear
yeah,
you.
no,
Can you
now
hear
I can
me?
see.
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Excellent.
I can hear you both.
Okay, that works. Yep.
Can you hear me, Combat? Combat?
I can. Can you hear me, Kornel?
Yeah. All good. All right. Ready to go then. Should we roll off who starts as Imperials and Rebels?
Yep. Seems to make sense.
Okay. Let's roll it off then. I'm gonna roll white dice. If it lands on a hit, I go with Imperials. If it's anything else, you go as Imperials.
Good.
It's a blank. You go as
Imperial as it
Imperials.
is.
Yep.
All right, so it looks like we have
All
a
right.
Combat Wombat.
Secret
He's known
strategy.
as Combat Wombat on the server.
What did you
But
come
I
up?
guess here he's
Oh, no, you've
TasmaniaJay,
been
and I asked
practicing?
him
I
he
haven't been
is
practicing.
he is very
I
much
played
not from
one game
Tasmania.
with Temerity on the map. That's all I did. So.
I'm just kidding. I've been obsessing about it nonstop.
So Combat Wombat is Empire, and Kornel is playing as the Rebels. And let's see if Combat Wombat was. Well, I don't think he was listening to me, but it looks like he's doing exactly what I predicted. How about that?
Yeah, I think that's probably the wisest setup in this situation.
Yeah, there you go. So Combat Wombat and Kornel are both good players here. They've won their fair share of games in our recent tournament, so they should give us a good match. And look at that, he's doing what I said. Now we'll see if he splits his ground armies the same way I do too. Oh, he's really taking a page out of my book there.
Well, I think he's doing a little more standard with you got the starting army of the ATST, AT-AT two troops, which is just what you need for a planetary conquest. So he's got that set ready to go if he draws planetary conquest early. I think you would probably put all of the mech troops in Rhodia, or maybe Sullust.
Yeah, you've noticed I like that, have you? Yeah, I like keeping the mechs together. Again, it's an efficiency thing. Because of the way the combat dice work in this game, right? You're going to roll some black hits and you're going to roll some red hits no matter what, at least very likely. So I like
will
to
deploy that way.
have,
right.
wherever possible, if you have all your armor the same color, then a lot of the guys' other hits, or your opponent's hits, are going to waste, right? If you have no stormtroopers with the army, then all of his black hits don't count. So that's why I like to make that pure mech army.
Definitely tough to beat.
Exactly. Like pick the one spot I really don't want to lose, and put the pure mech army there, and then it's very, very risky. The rebels, if they bring both speeders, they have a shot at it, but even then it's risky, and I don't think they want to try.
I mean, it might be worth it for a destroy 3 health objective, but you're probably not going to win that battle outright.
No, because you've got, the Empire. They can play the ATST combat card, and they can play the Star Destroyer combat card. So they've got two damage cards. That's really hard to beat.
So now looks like Combat Wombat sets. Kornel's getting his troops set. I'd be tempted to try to defend Bathui here as the rebels.
Yeah, that would be an interesting move, and I have seen Kornel play this trick before, and I think he is doing exactly that. Well, no, you know what? I'm pretty sure I know what he's doing here. But let's wait until he finishes. Could be Bothwy, but I don't think so.
An Utapau trap might be possible. Risky, but possible.
Yeah, very risky because you really don't
Okay,
know how
seems,
much
good to me.
how much is going to converge on Utapau, right? Any amount could come from both Sullust and Rhodia.
I don't have so.
I do not have Madi.
Yeah, so here we go. It looks like they are ready to start. The base has been picked. Kornel was very quick with that.
Wow,
Okay, let's go.
pretty interesting
Alright,
move
medium
here.
luck to you, my
Going
friend.
with Ord
Yeah,
Mantell
same,
as the
both
base.
ways.
Yeah, I've seen him do this before, and that's exactly what I was going to
Mm.
pick for the Rebels. This is exactly what I was going to predict. With against my 1 ATST, he likes to do this. So this is what we call the trap-based strategy. He's actually wanting to get stepped on the first turn, and hopefully score a surprise blow against the Empire, possibly killing a leader, and also just setting them back so that they think they're going to step on a spot
I'll
and
do all the missions.
get a something like an
All the
assault carrier.
missions.
And in fact, then you don't, because it turns out the rebels are unexpectedly there. So whenever Kornel puts all of his ground
If I could
troops
do
in the base but keeps his
so
fleet
many meaningful
elsewhere,
stuff with
kind of a
troops from
telegraph
Pope.
that he's doing this this trap-based strategy. That's what he does. And Ord Mantell is where I was going to predict he did it, and the reason why is because he left exactly one X-wing in the base. So he's wanting to shoot all of those TIE fighters that are with the Death Star. Having just one X-wing punches way above its weight. You can play the X-wing card that does 2 damage, and then maybe roll a third hit. So he might kill as many as 3 of those TIE fighters when they come in. So putting the X-wing there, to me, that makes it super obvious that he's on Ord Mantell, especially because he's done that to me once before. But we'll see if it's up to TasmaniaJay.
I'll go with Brilliant Administrator
Oh, really?
in Corellia.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about that as the Rebels is that army now is going to be stuck on Ord and
I'll keep 3
useless. You're not going to get
Okay.
a blockade out of it. And yeah, if he lands with the Emperor or Vader on there, it might be worth it. But looks like he's probably not going to land there turn 1. We'll see if he.
Yeah, now that he's
What he does
played
with Kashyyyk.
Tarkin,
No
now that he's played
missions.
Tarkin, that seems unlikely. I normally don't play
In
Tarkin
that
on the first
case,
turn, but
let's start this game with an infiltration. That on Leaken.
Go ahead.
all right. Kornel doesn't like to tip his hand too soon. When you play this trap-based tactic, you almost certainly have to have been on rapid mobilization. So that's almost certainly what General Riken is on. So it's tempting to slam him down first, so that you have a leader there for the fight if it happens. When I do a trap base, that's normally what I do, but I usually don't like to make my trap bases as obvious as what Kornel has done
Ted
here.
will go visit Admiral Akbar.
Yeah, so this move was absolutely mandatory. Somebody had to go to Mon Calamari.
One problem that
I'll go get my
Cornell's
loyalty.
going to have now is now that he's got Utapau, his fleet is locked in there, and he drew Crippling Blow for his next objective. So that Imperial fleet is going to descend upon him and probably take them out here.
Yeah, that seems likely, unless Combat doesn't go to Naboo as his first on this turn, which he might not.
He still has Kashyyyk. Interesting decision. Do you subjugate Kashyyyk
Right.
or threaten the rebel fleet?
Yeah, in my books, I never subjugate Kashyyyk on the first turn when the rebels have it. It's just I don't know 100% if it's correct, but I seem to do pretty well with that policy. I find it's just not worth it. Troopers by themselves are just not that much of an offensive threat to you. You know, if you had
Let's
infinite
have a
actions, you'd do
horizon.
it for sure, but it's almost always better to grab an assault carrier, say from Toydaria, or like you say, do something like with this rebel fleet exposed, close in on them quickly on Naboo. I think that would be the better move in this particular case. Since they can't come home due to Mon Mothma, I would want to close in with a strong
Oh
force.
wow! Look, he went for the. He's gonna fall in
Oh,
the
he's
trap.
going for it. He's just falling right into it. No, Combat, what are you doing? What are you doing? You should know he's doing this.
Hey, look at that. You're on the base.
The base. There it is.
Yep. There it is.
I was thinking about a Moncal trap, but didn't think about an Ord trap.
You can't retreat with the Death Star.
All right, so it looks like everything went the way Kornel wanted. Now, the last time he did this to me, which he has done exactly this move, he didn't put the leader in first because he didn't want to give away his game. So I did the attack. He didn't have a leader. It turns out, I don't know if the Ord Mantell trap here is actually very good because without a leader, your chance of killing that ATST and scoring the confrontation to kill Darth Vader is only like 20%. Because you got to get 2 hits, 2 red hits in a single roll. It's a lot better if you have that leader, though.
Yeah, my philosophy is you got to go for the biscuit as the rebels. So I would go for the confrontation here. If you don't play the confrontation, I think you risk him playing air superiority, and then you don't get a card next turn.
Oh, absolutely. Now that he's done it, he's going to play it for sure, 100%.
And there is another one. Nice.
And there we go, trying to winnow down those fighters. Darth Vader is trying to reroll to save them.
Only 1 fighter killed, so that's good.
Okay,
for
that
Empire.
part went okay, but that's not the important part as far as the Empire is concerned.
So I guess you got to play armored patrol here.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, that should give you a pretty reasonable shot at saving it.
Or yeah, you can play just to be sure. Yeah.
All right, let's try to do this.
So he plays imposing presence, so he can play another card, which I'm guessing is going to
And
be
in that
armored patrol.
case,
Well, that one's okay too. The armored patrol, I think, is slightly better.
Well, I think he wanted to be sure he was going to play it this turn and not next turn because he can't retreat, so he could extend the battle.
Yeah, that's right.
Wombat's thinking about it. I don't know what's so difficult. I guess he was thinking about flipping the order, but I think the blocking the red hit is smarter.
You're going to block a red?
that's what I'm leaning towards.
Guess that's your best.
Well, I don't know. I
chance
think
to
statistically,
attack with.
you
So
get
can
2
try
rolls
to
of that red die
go
if
and
you're
do
Vader.
as much damage as you can, but
Yeah, you do, but with two speeders here, the chance of a red hit is like, I don't know, 5/9, right? Oh, and look at that. He did get the lightsaber.
Vader's scared for his life.
And he does not get a single hit, so this would be an ignominious death of Darth Vader if it happens here.
Pretty likely at this point.
I rolled blanks.
hold up. I mean, no. I roll first.
No, I'm the attacker.
Oh, so shit. Wait. But why did I? Oh, we.
Yeah, you rolled early on space combat.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Kornel got very
Right,
excited with his
so
trap
you blanked
working
out
there.
and you
Forgot
played,
the order.
I blanked
the
out
armored
and played
patrol.
block hits.
Okay.
Yeah, I was debating on flipping the combat or not.
I see.
All right, here's where it all comes down.
Oh, that's
Toast.
That is
And Vader is
2
done.
critical hits. That's it. This is
Yeah.
going to be a very rough start for the Empire.
Of course, I don't need all the units when I do this.
Could have done it with just troops.
Yeah, other times when I try it with like 1 speeder and all the troops, they just get wiped out.
We'll see
So
what
they
the
just-
rapid mobilization brings up.
Because that
The other
last one
problem
was
of an early
a
aggressive
surprise.
rebels is if you need to move the base, you may not get a good
Sabotage.
option. He does have 2 turns to
Um,
move it though, so he should be okay.
Yeah, we'll just see if he regrets not having those speeders in the base in the long term.
It's got the,
Actually, he's nicely set up. He
down.
can hopefully get a good base, and then he can bring the fleet back
Look at the top 4.
to that base because the Empire's not threatening it.
Yep, that is absolutely right.
This is out of the game.
Everything worked out the way he wanted here, although I really don't think it should have. I think converging on Naboo would have been the much better move.
That is embarrassing.
Yeah, and Dantooine is available, so I'm
Yeah,
guessing that's where he's going.
Okay, I'm gonna write some of those down.
I'm a bit surprised he did the fleet on Utapau since Mon Mothma pins it down.
Yeah, the logic there is to prevent the Empire from countering with Vader. You get the 2 extra dice. I think it's also not a terrible move too, because now you can hopefully spawn a force and accomplish a crippling blow or maybe a rebel assault from an attack from Utapau. Was the logic behind that?
Yeah, that's all true. I'm just not sure I like it
It's
paired
all
with the trap base, because it's not a
Fair
spot
enough.
that your fleet's going to be able to easily escape from a lot of the time.
So that leaves
Yeah, I
the
agree.
top card to leader.
With a more conventional base, absolutely. I love starting on
Okay,
Utapau.
fuck
It's
that.
such an important
Alright.
spot.
Kinda sorta.
You really want those 2 extra dice on the loyalty
No
check.
objectives. Starting
Okay,
with,
so good start
starting with
probably
the
for the rebels. However, I see
Now, if
a problem
just
here.
Find a way for you to kill the Emperor, then I don't need
If
to
he
worry
goes
about
to
the Jedi.
my Jito, builds loyalty there, he's going to be right on top of the base with nothing to defend it from the Death Star.
Yeah, that's right. And let's take a look at the Empire's cards. It looks like he's got the display of power. So he could even build loyalty on Megiddo without even going there.
I'm guessing he uses that on
picked up a
Utapau at
Megiddo.
some point, though.
I'm thinking.
All right. Can you move your camera a bit? Let's see what the leaders are for the that the options have.
So we got, well, I missed the rebels. He got Medine ambush.
Yeah, always a solid choice.
And it looks like definitely the right choice compared to getting
Yeah, I got
Jin or
mine.
so and something to fight
Oh
for.
yes,
I
yes,
want
yes.
Medine.
I will take
Jar Gerard for the Empire.
On the way.
Interesting. I think I would have gone Ozzel with that.
I see
Let's see.
one of our players here, Kornel, does that all the time. He loves taking Ozzel for the fake out. To me, this is too early, because the problem is if you take Ozzel now, you can't take his stronger card if you get him later, and there's still 3 turns, 3 tries to pick him up. So I'd be scared to take Ozzel off of this card, just because I want to be able to pick that stronger card if I get it.
True. And this is the base mission set, so there's no chance to recruit an extra leader, or your only option is to get the
Drop a
Lure of
U-wing
the
and
dark
a
side.
trooper to the new
That's
base,
right, so
and,
he's gonna be really hurting
200
for
silver
leaders.
to tap it.
Which is the entire point of this rebel play. So Cornell is really looking to play a long game here. He wants the game to stretch on, and take advantage, and so that every turn he's getting 1 more action than the Empire is. So he's just got to get his base to a safe spot.
Yeah. I wonder if he should have just stayed for a turn, but then I guess he couldn't move the fleet out, so I guess that's why he had to move to Dantooine. But he's in a dangerous spot here if Wombat goes for Dantooine with the Death Star.
Yeah, something like Endor would have been a lot safer for sure. Because we know that the bulk of these fleets have to be heading for
All
Utapau.
right, I am deployed.
All right, let's take a look at the missions. All 4 standard missions for the rebels. Wonder what he's gonna do. Yeah, and he's got if and when the Empire. He's got a nice move set up here. Does Kornel when the Empire does close in on Naboo, he can attack with just the transport and the troops to try to get a crippling blow. Which interesting that he. Well, I guess he needed
I
to rapid
will
mobilize, so that's why he
with, uh,
used Yon. Okay.
I'm
Surprised he didn't use.
leave Leia back.
He should have
and
used
leave the
Medine, I
others
think,
in
to do this attack. What do you think?
Well, you know, he can all. It might be better in any case. Whenever possible, you want to attack when the Empire doesn't have a leader there. So he might be planning. If there's an attack that's going to happen, it might be his first move of turn 3. So he's not planning to actually do the attack this turn.
Yeah, possibly. And then he's gonna.
He'll rapidly mobilize out the fighters, leave the transport and the 4 infantry, and have that be the first move of turn 3 to try and push back the Imperial ground force.
That makes sense. So what do you? He does have hunt them down here, which would be smart to use on probably the Corvette or the transport.
Yeah, even the transport might be with the infantry having come in there. The transport might be a really good choice.
Although
so
we forget he has no fists to play that
yeah,
mission.
he has no fist. I'm kind of
Then
surprised he didn't take Boba Fett.
Poor people of Fort Montel, don't blow them up.
Yes.
They did nothing wrong. It was the rebels.
So we've talked about the rebels. What do you think the Empire can do in this situation?
Well, I'm very big on playing the Empire with always the same game plan in mind, and that game plan is always about your number 1 priority is to stop rebel troops. You don't want to allow them to get any troops at all. If you have to let them get troops, troopers are okay. So like Kashyyyk or maybe Ryloth are relatively low priority to cover, but you really don't want to let them get any other type of troop. So on turns 1 through 3, for me, it's always it's about maneuvering your fleets such that if the rebels build alliance somewhere, you can step on it before the recruiting phase. So he's already actually in a really good spot for that. As soon as he covered Bothawi, he's kind of got access to everything important. Again, he can't touch Ryloth, but like I said, troopers by themselves are sort of low priority. You can't necessarily count on that. And he can cover Megiddo, and that would be a really good thing to do. And I think that's what the Emperor's planning to do. Emperor's on Rule by Fear, right?
Yeah, Emperor on Rule by Fear, and I think I know what he's going to do with address delays. I think you put address delays and you get yourself, you put it on Bothawi,
Let's start with the second bracket.
and you get yourself a shield generator to put on either Megiddo next turn or Naboo, depending on what he does with that fleet, so you can protect that ground force and fleet from any attack.
Yeah, that would be an interesting use of it. We'll see if he does it. He might just be greedy and going for the all-star destroyers too. I mean, that's never something you can rule out. But it makes sense to me that he only played 2 missions because he really doesn't need a lot of movement here. He's already got his fleets
another address delays.
Yeah,
where he needs it.
For sure.
Yeah, he just wants the fleet. I like your plan of the shield bunker though. That's clever.
Yeah, I think I would have waited on that move.
Infiltrate Sadekumi again.
He's got a problem too. His tags is only ground commander now. He's only got 2 rerolls in ground
Yeah,
versus 3. for Medine.
Very, very true.
Don't know if you want to look Temerity. The cards or choices.
Yeah, so
Now it's-
regional support versus Long War, no question, you go regional support there. Which he did.
Okay.
Where did you move the base to last turn?
Oh, it was to Alderaan, of course.
Okay, perfect.
So it's always Alderaan. I wanted to do Alderaan with the first one as well. I just misclicked. It went to Ornamental. But it's always Alderaan. If you have anyone on Corellia.
He's actually Kornel's sort of more right than he knows. I did an analysis of all the games in my record for the 2021 so far. Alderaan's actually, like, for players other than me, it's the second most popular base.
Yeah, I've tried it against you before. I usually don't do it. I've been burned before where even everything goes right and then you don't get Heart of the Empire and you're just like, oh, well, that sucks.
Oh, I've never done it even once. I've never done it myself.
All right, I'll
But
get Megiddo.
if you take me out of the data, everyone I play against, between all of them, it's like, nobody picks Alderaan all the time, but between everybody, it's the second most popular rebel base. But I've never been there even once. It's just so scary. Okay, and here Kornel is aware of that play, and that's why he is trying to prevent the Death Star from being able to reinforce. But
Gerard is very, very convincing.
I think that was a mistake. I think he should have gone with Sabotage first move. And now he's also given away the Rebel base being somewhere in that area.
oh, I don't think it gives it away. It's a very reasonable play to not want the Death Star to be able to get a ground army, no matter where your base is, even if you're on Dantooine or you're not, and you just don't want the other guy to be able to check. I don't think it gives anything away. It is really unfortunate that he lost the roll, and it is also very painful for the rebels not to build loyalty somewhere where they can hopefully get troops.
Yeah, like you pointed
Within
out,
the
he had
15 turns.
he's really got no options. It does make sense, Megiddo, though, because with the regional support, he could get Megiddo and then Ord Mantell to score the regional support. So that's probably why he did that too. Still hasn't closed in on that fleet, which is interesting.
Not yet. He's obviously thinking about it. I mean, he sort of has to do it if he doesn't want the rebels to get another cruiser.
Really now? You give me 2 turns in Dappo. Oh.
Yeah, well, that's very surprising. See, that to me is the reason why I actually might have taken something like Bespin with Mon Mothma and gone for the regional support in the Bespin Mustafar corner, because I would have assumed that his last move of the turn has to be closing in on Utapau to stop the production, and that means that there's not enough time to cover both Mustafar and Bespin for next turn. So I might have built loyalty on Bespin this turn.
Yeah. Yeah,
but Wombat then surprised us and came there anyway, even though no loyalty was built.
I will try to rule it by fear.
Ooh.
All right, and Wombat is not going for the risky roll, not trying to go to Megiddo.
Tarkin will be the red guy.
Okay, got it.
He's just going for all-out production.
Let's move it.
Yeah, it looks like a longer game. And now, yeah, he can move his ground troops, set up for a much easier crippling blow next turn, and move his fleet back. Although, yeah, his fleet's safe because the Death Star can't reveal the base because it has no ground troops.
My movements later. Yeah, I guess
Yeah, so I have to assume that the reason he's not going towards Utapau is, just like you said earlier, he's planning to use
Definitely bringing
the
guys
display
to
of
me.
power on
The
Utapau.
only
So
exception
that's
is
got to be the reason why
fighters.
Wombat's not too worried about
Yeah,
Utapau.
forgot about. He's got that in his back pocket.
So we now know that that's pretty much guaranteed that that's where he's
Bringing
planning to use that.
But that's all. I leave these two fighters.
I don't understand why he's bringing all of those ships to
And
Dagobah, though. I think I would have just done the
from
transport.
Depot back to the base with rapid.
Yep.
And still nothing to score.
Yeah, especially with your base so close to the Death Star, you really want every fighter there that you can get. I mean, one option is if you attack
What do
a
you mean by
Star
that?
Destroyer with
Oh,
just
they built something
a
into the mod that prevents me from drawing cards
yeah.
if you have your rapid out.
Okay.
if you attack a Star Destroyer with just a transport,
That's why it doesn't go back to my hand.
you might get
Yep,
there's a chance you
So we
get
don't have
captured.
to,
Yeah, I think in theory.
move this deck.
Yeah,
But
that
if
is
you're-
true.
If you're willing to play the transport escort card, though, the chance is very low.
Yeah, I would have taken the fighters back for sure. I'm not sure that. Well, I guess that Y-wing gives him a chance to blow up a transport later.
I pick my leader.
Yeah, he's wanting to score the crippling blow, though, so that means Mustafar is not that great a target because there's only 2 troopers there. But if the AT-AT goes on Sullust, which it probably will, that force becomes a little hard to beat.
Lando.
Oh, look at that, Lando. Very strong ground game for the rebels. They've got ambush to kill ground troops and then Lando to push them away.
It's not also.
Not awful.
And Piet for the Empire. Empire really needs fists. There.
They do. Did you see who the other option was? I missed that.
It was fully operational with.
Oh yeah, well, no choice at all then, since he already has Jar Jared. So at least Piet has 1 fist, but he really would have liked a double fist leader, which is a bit. If I remember right, he gave up Boba Fett last turn, which was a bit surprising, because that would have solved that problem. Now, of course,
I'll put a AT-AT in Celeste, and then
here's an interesting setup here. He could draw the laser, and he could blow up Dantooine this turn. He might. Maybe he does it to get my Jito, but it's probably unlikely. We'll see what he does.
Yeah, if he had the probe card for Ilum, I think that would be a very dangerous play. Because then he would know that Ilum's not a choice, and Dantooine's the only one in that sector, which would means that, you know, if he's going to use a laser, he might as well blow up Dantooine, because the Death Star is not really going to be a factor if the base is really anywhere other than Ilum or Dantooine.
Alright, this will do. To go with 5 missions, Lando back.
Because he's missing the Ilum card, I really don't think he's going to blow an action card like proceeding as planned, just to guess that the base is on Dantooine. If he wasn't holding Ilum, it would be a dangerous. Or if he was holding Ilum, it would be a danger.
So I think perversely, the failure of Mon Mothma to get my Jito actually might have just saved the base, because if he's got my Jito loyal and he gets Ord Mantell loyal to make the regional support, then he might be tempted to use the laser to take away the loyalty.
That's very true.
But looks like he's going with what we thought. Although he's misplayed the Emperor right now on Rule by Fear instead of Display of Power. Hopefully he figures that out.
Now, turn 3 is really key for the rebels, so let's think heavily about the rebels' perspective for this turn. This is where you really want to see if you can get some troops out of it. What has he got down? 5 missions, and it looks like he didn't play rapid mobilization. Okay, Madine's playing the Rogue Squadron Raid, and Leia's
still.
playing the Stolen Plans.
Take it down.
Yeah, a very good chance he gets the plans. One thing he has too,
Plans.
he's
You
got
play, 2 games
Rebel
back to
planning,
back, and then,
so he can
also going to
play Jan
Temerity.
next turn, and he can know what
You
card he's
know,
going to
I
get.
booked the whole day, so we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Sent the wife and kids away.
I might spectate. Don't have much to do either from here on out.
All right, so it looks like Kornel is not really going to be going for a troop production turn, right? He didn't play his
Why do I
the
have,
Incite Rebellion, which could have maybe had a
some
chance to
value
punch off
denying the typos somehow?
some ground
Either
troops
way,
somewhere. No, not really any great place to play it,
get
but maybe
message
an
from High
opening might have
Command or
presented
something like
itself.
that.
Instead, he's just going to
Ah,
really. Looks like he's probably going to want to pop that Death Star very quickly by finding the plans, making sure it can't be reinforced with the Star Destroyer because he's going to blow it up with Madine. So he's not going for production. He's going all in on that on defending from the Death Star, I think.
Makes sense. I think turn 1 here is attack on Sullust.
Okay, I will do 3 missions and keep 2 leaders back.
okay. Let's start with attack on Mustafar.
Oh, wow. And that's very surprising to me.
Mustafar, yeah. Well, I mean, it's all about.
Oh, I forgot. He's got decisive victory, so
I will do
he's going for the decisive
spring.
victory here instead of the crippling blow.
Instead of the
That is
crippling
my
blow.
That's
Sorry
true.
about that.
Yeah, I think with decisive victory, this makes a lot of sense because now the Empire has to decide whether they want to come to a system they already own just to chase these guys down, which is not that attractive to them. So I think this makes a lot of sense. And right now, the other thing we got to keep in mind is Kornel is very happy
Bring
to
Piet.
trade moves with the
Any
Empire.
collection, or is he
No,
just there?
no card. He's just hanging out.
Okay. Seems cool.
Really, bringing Piet, I would not have done that here. I don't see what it's going to achieve. The Y-wing card is going to blow up the transport, and you're going to have nothing to retreat with, and it's not like Piet's going to change the outcome of the ground battle. So I don't see what Combat's hoping to achieve by sending Piet here. I think it's just a mistake, but we'll see.
Damage.
You on the carrier.
Yeah, I agree. That doesn't make much sense.
Not what I'm looking for. Reality. It's better. So 1 on the tie and another 1 killing of the carrier.
All right.
All right. Well, the TIE fighter can come back.
Okay, I'll kill the Corvette.
Okay.
He really needed a black hit there. He could have denied. If he'd gotten really lucky, he would have denied the decisive victory.
Yeah, he still has a chance to do it, actually. Because he's got the... Well, he doesn't have...
Well,
yeah, he doesn't.
it's gonna be very tough because he can't play the Swarm Tactics card to kill the transport. So most likely the Y-wing. So Kornel will just play the Ion Blast and kill the TIE fighter that way. The TIE fighter will probably kill the Y-wing, but the transport is still there to declare a victory.
Yeah,
So he really.
He might even be able to score the crippling blow with that same force if, like you said, they ignore Mustafar.
Yeah, right.
I always hate playing Hold Them Back early as the Rebels because it's such a good card to score a liberation or any other of those objectives where you got to win a battle in a certain system.
Absolutely, I completely agree. It's a very dangerous situation to be in for you to have spent your hold them back equivalent and the other guy to have not spent it. Because that means if you ever have a trooper clash against trooper later, you win.
Nice. Reroll it to that. Okay, 2 hits on the one guy.
One back. I'll kill this guy.
Okay. I will stay.
Yeah, there's no good card for the space battle here.
Maybe Entrapment, I think. Just
Yeah,
in
it doesn't
case.
look like. Oh no, why would you play that? It's such a good card. Don't play the TIE Fighter card.
Yeah, I don't play the TIE Fighter. I'd play Entrapment just in case the battle goes another turn.
Yeah, and it's also probably the least useful card going forward to hang on to, since he doesn't really have any interdictors coming and doesn't look like he's going to be getting any anytime soon.
I think he knows it's not the right card, but he can't think of what else to play. There it is.
Okay, I'll do a damage.
Yeah, there we go.
Damage there. Let's reroll that.
Yeah, it's too late.
Okay.
And there's the
I
decisive
failed
victory.
transport.
Yep.
Yes, and that is going to be a decisive victory.
Nice.
All right, I would say so far Rebel game plan is going as well as they could have hoped for,
Alrighty.
given how they started. Everything they sort of tried has worked out. I think Kornel was probably really hoping to threaten the core somewhere in his level 1 deck, but didn't get it.
All yours.
All right, there we go.
All this-
Loyalty has been built.
So all of a sudden, shield bunkers are going to be super important. We'll see if Wombat picks up on it. I think he needs Bespin here.
Yeah, well, I'm expecting Kornel definitely loves blocking shield bunkers, so I really expect the who's on sabotage this turn. Riken, right? Really expect Riken to go to Bothawi.
Yep. We'll see if he picks up on the danger.
That's right.
We did forget he does have secure the plans.
That's right, but didn't play it this turn.
Go with the Rogue Squadron raid, and that is going to cease.
I think he's there's no blocking it, but makes sense to put it there.
Next one.
That's unfortunate for the Empire.
Yeah, Rogue Squadron Raid is a powerful card when it comes out in the first couple turns.
Yeah, I won't do anything against that. It is not the base.
There we go. So the display of power worked far better than one could have hoped. There was not even a trooper left behind to blockade it.
I did have it last turn. Yep.
Makes sense. Yep.
So that part worked very well for combat there. He completely gets Utapau and is able to produce out of it.
Go ahead.
Oh wow, Heart of the Empire is in there. That is interesting. For let's see if he keeps it or not. Nope, he doesn't keep it. Oh, I would have been tempted.
Regional support. Regional support's just such a reliable card. It's very hard to block in the long term.
Yes, he doesn't have a lot of loyalty though, because he wasted it on. Well, he lost
No,
it on
you're very
Vegeta.
right. You're very right. In fact, he's lost 2, right? Because he just lost that one on Utapau. So yeah, you're right. I usually would go for popular support. I find Heart of the Empire is a better threat than it is in execution, but I think you're right in this case, having lost 2 loyalty already and no loyalty cards in hand. Look at that. He doesn't have any of the cards that let you do double loyalty in a turn. It's going to be a long time before he can score popular support at this rate.
Yeah, and Ord Mantell and those troops are sitting there. It'd be pretty easy to clear Ord Mantell of that TIE fighter, and you've got other options to get onto Coruscant as well. So I would have been tempted.
I think given the loyalty situation, it would have been the right move to take Heart of the Empire just to have it as an option there. And maybe you never score it, but at least it's there if the opportunity comes up. See, this turn, another reason sending Piet in on defense was a mistake here is that Mon Mothma is going to get the last move of the turn. And so she can kind of build the alliance wherever she wants, and you can't cover it afterwards. Now, there's a risk of that happening anyway, since the rebels had more leaders. But
Okay, let's go ahead and attack over here.
I got sure. Okay.
oh, there we go. He's just wanting to hunt those guys down.
It is setting up very nicely for a Death Star run now on first move.
Absolutely. We'll see if the last piece of the puzzle comes together. If he gets 1 in a million out of his leader deck.
I'll try
Actually,
to
just gonna go for the damage.
Yep. Okay.
All right, and there we go.
I can reroll all. Yeah.
The crippling
There
blow
Got it.
from this force is not going to happen.
Yeah, I think he needed Bespin more than he needed to prevent that. We are forgetting though. He's got Medine on ambush, so he could just blow up any
3, 5 total.
shield bunker
so
he throws
we'll
down.
do
Yeah, that's
2 on
absolutely true.
this guy and this guy, 1 on this guy.
Okay.
But at the very least, sometimes you can't always be afraid that
I take out the Cooper and an ATST.
the guy might have the card he needs to beat
Got some
you.
hardy little infantry there.
Sometimes you just got to force him to use that card, so at least it's gone.
Can't complain.
Now, the only risk here, I think, is that it could be the Death Star plans are the very bottom of 5, in which case Leia cannot reach them.
I cannot do that on Sleuth anymore. Let's do it on Corellia.
Okay, yep, go ahead.
He's got the plans and some other good objectives. Seize control, easily doable. Liberation, doable. I'd probably bury popular support. He's not going to be able to play that anytime soon anyway.
Absolutely.
And I think I would put Liberation second.
Looks like he's going to do exactly what you claimed, and there go the plans on top.
Okay, those suck.
He's going to have 4 fighters and a Nebulan B ready to attack that Death Star. And I'm pretty sure
I will.
he's
do
hoping for
an
1 in a million,
R&D.
but even if he doesn't get it, he's going to try it anyway, because there's not really that many TIE fighters with the Death Star.
Okay.
But, Combat might build a second one.
Yeah, he might need to.
Yeah, when you can make it invincible with secure the plans.
And it's all you.
Yeah, I'm just checking where you get your units from.
This is why this game is interesting. This has been all Kornel, I think, the
Office
first turn
Development,
here,
yeah.
just about,
Damage on the tip.
and he's still actually in danger of losing pretty soon here.
Works.
Dang.
All right, Kornel is going for the production. He's not blocking that shield bunker. I guess he knows he has
Okay,
Maydeen
I'm
if he
gonna do
needs him.
loyalty. What do I need? What do I need?
I don't know if I would have gone for that, simply because I don't like 33% failure chances, which is what trying to sabotage Utapau was. I probably would have done the shield bunker here.
Tempting here.
Yeah, I agree. And then you can save Medine.
Let's see backtrack as well.
Yeah, Maydeen, he's going to be useful later. It's such a powerful card. Yeah, there's no rush to play it. He knows he can take out the shield bunker with Maydeen if he needs to, but why force that?
Yeah, Medine too would have been so great for Heart of the Empire. I really don't know why he didn't take Heart of the Empire there.
Yeah, that's the Cato.
Cato it is.
Yep. And no objectives.
Yeah, despite the bad start, we're going to get a lot of production out of the Empire this turn, and it's going to overwhelm whatever the rebels are going to be able to do in a couple turns.
Can I check what cards you have left? Combat cards, I mean.
It's going to have to discard. Yep, Interrogation is probably the worst card.
Yeah, there's really no question there. The combo's coming together. He's already got, in fact, he's got it already if he wants it. You'll notice that Combat Wombat is sitting on the build a second Death Star and also address double our efforts there. And he's got the action card that lets him take any project card he wants. If you use that to take, what's it called? The one that lets you deploy immediately from the build queue. Oversee project, I think, from the project deck. Let's take a look at that in there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one. That is the famous combo of spring up a second Death Star in a single turn.
No laser, so he couldn't blow up a base as well, but yeah. Does he have the logistics to do that? I guess he does.
He does. He has 3, as long as you took 1 extra logistics leader, which you had to, if you ended up with proceeding as planned, then he's good to go. Oh, look at that. He's taking Surely Suntir fell for the fists.
Alright, I will go under the radar.
I think, if I saw right, though, wasn't his other card the ready for action?
Yep, he could have taken Veers.
Oh, I would have done that for sure. I mean, he already has Piet, so he can use Piet on the action card, which is really valuable. And he really needs a level 3 ground leader back, so Veers would have solved both of those problems.
Yeah, you're right. And the fist, the bonus for Hunt Them Down is usually inconsequential.
Yeah, that's right. Normally you either play it on a fleet that needs to move anyway, or they just don't have a fist leader back that can afford to block it. I don't think holding Suntir's mission card was enough to justify taking what is probably the worst action card in the game for the Empire. good intel is just not good for much. Whereas Ready for Action is one of the very best action cards for the Empire.
So I think Dagobah, we are sitting back to the Rebels here. He's got 4 choices for a under the radar base to hide.
Oh, yeah.
I think Dagobah is the obvious choice here. Maybe Naboo.
Knowing Kornel, he's thinking about Utapau.
Yeah, he did. Interesting. It's sabotaged. It can be made unloyal in one move, so that's probably what he's thinking. And maybe he doesn't. Maybe Combat doesn't take that sabotage marker off, although I bet you he does.
No, I bet you anything. Since he took that card, Kornel's first move is going to be making Utapau neutral again.
I'm gonna go for. Oh, you went for something. I should have announced first, but I'm gonna go with what's his name? Not so other guy. Cassian.
Cassian.
Cassian is the guy.
So this is a very Kornel thing to do. Once if he makes Utapau neutral, it's now sabotaged, and so it really looks like nobody wants to care about it, right? The Empire never wants to go there again because they know the Rebels can't build loyalty. The Rebels have no way to take off sabotage, so they know the Rebels will never be able to produce out of it. So they're just going to ignore Utapau for the rest of the game. At least that's what Kornel's going to plan around. So I bet anything that's his plan. He's going to take off that loyalty with Mon Mothma this turn.
Yeah, one thing we haven't kept track of, which I'm sure Kornel has, is what probe cards he's seen. He's seen a few of them now, so he's got a good idea of where to fake.
Yeah, absolutely. I always write down the probe cards. I think it's a really important thing to do.
Well, I guess I'm the master, so I can look at the probes. Yep, so he's seen Kashyyyk, he's seen Cato, he's seen Kessel, he's seen Mon Calamari.
Hasn't seen anything really good. He hasn't seen like Endor or even Ryloth, and he won't see Ryloth because that's actually one that Combat Wombat has now drawn.
And
Yavin, Tatooine, those are both good cards for Combat to draw.
There.
Yeah, so Kornel, he's seen some okay probes, but he hasn't seen any really stellar ones.
Wow, no shield bunker.
Yeah, well, he might still change his mind if. Oh no, he sees the Nebulan's gone into the base and that the cruiser didn't. So.
Cato and did the rest.
Nope. Oh wow, why don't you put the fighters there?
Put 2 in Megiddo. TIE Fighter and Coruscant.
So one thought I've had, not going to apply to this game, but I think putting the TIE Fighter by itself on Coruscant is kind of a mistake because Plan the Assault only works in a system that contains an Imperial ship. So now you've actually opened yourself up to having Coruscant attacked when it would be almost, there's only one card that would do it otherwise.
That's true. I think it depends on how much you can afford to put there. I mean, if you only have 2 ground units, if you're not going to have the one TIE Fighter there, then the ground force needs to be quite strong. Because there's lots of things that blow up ground units. Like you said, there's Maydeen, and then Maydeen can be comboed with hit and runs. Or, well, of course, lead the strike team being one of the main plays. So if your ground force is reasonably weak, the TIE Fighter is a cost-efficient way to defend Coruscant.
It raises the cost now. You have to have, like you said, you could still get other ways to do it, but yeah, it makes it a little bit harder. But I think I don't think it makes it that much harder, and it opens an option for the Rebels.
True, but it's an option that plays one of their most valuable cards.
Yeah, still thinking.
You can always
Okay.
do something good with Plan the Assault.
So, Rebels have they got a bunch of different moves this turn, especially with Utapau being open now. They've got the Plan the Assault, so they could jump the fleet all the way across the Utapau if they wanted to, and be sure of having a safe base.
Well, not to Utapau. Remember, they need a fleet. They need a ship there to do that.
Multiple
They
Oh
could
yeah,
do it with,
you're right.
with Hidden Fleet. Hidden Fleet could do it though.
Yeah, and they do have Hidden Fleet.
Yeah. Oh well, there's no way that with no shield bunker having come down, there's no way Kornel isn't going for the Death Star. I feel the only question is, does he use Plan the Assault to do it, or does he just reveal that he's over there? And I think he won't use Plan the Assault, because if you can destroy the Death Star, what does he care that the Empire knows he's there? They can't do anything about it right now, and they won't be able to.
The donut to pick up an objective.
Yeah.
Wait! Now he's sending Dodonna to get an objective.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was going to say. But now he's opened himself up to the plans being secured.
That's right, and he can't move out of the base conventionally with Dodonna there now. I think that's a mistake, but we'll see. Maybe No, Cassian's not planning the assault, is he? He doesn't have Plan the Assault down.
Looks like he's got the Incite Rebellion. So maybe he wants to liberate Corellia. Maybe.
That's the obvious spot, isn't it?
Maybe Bathui becomes available. Bathue. Many Bothans will die in that operation for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're right, and not attacking right away is a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, Kornel likes to play in a way where he wants to trap the opponent. So maybe what he's hoping is that Dantooine is going to get stepped on, and that way he can blow up the Death Star on defense.
Yeah, which is always better because you get the saber rolls.
That's right. So I mean, there's a chance that that's what he hoped, but for me, wherever the Death Star is concerned, there's just so much that can go wrong that you really got to take your chances when you have them. And in particular, what can go wrong is usually securing the plans. Now, maybe Kornel's feeling pretty confident because one big weakness of the Empire right now is they don't have a triple intel leader. So securing the plans is very expensive. It has to be something like Piet plus Tarkin, or maybe the Emperor plus Tarkin together. Very, very expensive. On the other hand, if I was Wombat right now, I'd be looking at how vulnerable that Death Star is, and how there's now a Nebulan in the base, and
yeah, and if he was paying attention, there's the only reason to put the Nebulon in there and not put the cruiser as you're planning on using it.
Yeah, that's right. So slapping that down as soon as possible, even though it's expensive, is valuable. Now he might have been inclined to think that there was no chance, but on the other hand, now that Dodonna's come down and has paralyzed the fleet, it's usually a good bet that if the Empire has planned the assault, they're not going to play it without Dodonna, because then it might fail.
Or you can be like me and play Luke and Dodonna on Plan the Assault and still have it fail.
Still have it fail. Well, you gotta sometimes take your licks, right?
The dice are fickle.
But given that Rebel fleet is now pinned down, to me, there's really no question here that secure the plans is a very, very strong move for combat, even though it's expensive. He doesn't have a great place to put it right now. He doesn't own any remote sectors, but he could just move the Mustafar fleet to either Hoth or Dagobah. He could move the Rhodia fleet to Tatooine. Or he could just take his chances and put it on an empty spot, and that's always a risky thing to do when against the when the rebels just might have a hidden fleet to swoop in and take it. But to me, the deal breaker, the thing that's really swings it here is he's got that combo to build the second Death Star. So securing the plans is going to be very, very useful to him. Pretty much no matter what, even if he doesn't get it down in time and he gets unlucky and this Death Star does get destroyed, he can build a second one, and then it will be useful to have the plans secured. So I really think he should go for that. Doesn't really have a lot else to do this turn. There's not a lot of rebel systems that that need to be covered. He'd love to cover Cato, but he can't yet. He's got to wait for that Star Destroyer to arrive next turn.
He's got a combo here. He could step on Dantooine, lose the battle completely, and still win with Hunt Them Down.
That is a possibility.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll plan for that.
Exactly.
Again, given that, again, he still doesn't know whether to send the Death Star to Ilum or Dantooine.
Yep.
So I really don't see him doing that.
This is another reason why he really needed that shield bunker, because if you do the shield bunker, then the rebels might tip their hand and give you a chance to plan out a construct a Death Star on Dantooine or wherever.
Yeah, very true. Gives you time, or at the very least, if you see Maydeen come and take it out, you know that the rebels just played a very valuable card to take out that shield bunker, which is a very useless thing to do if they weren't planning to capitalize on it. So the shield bunker really tells you a lot.
So he's got it set up. He's got the sabotage / Incite Rebellion combo. He can play that on a number of places to score that objective.
It seems clear he's not planning to make an attack against the Death Star. Well, no, yeah, he really can't be. He just maybe is just thinking he'll get stepped on.
Let's see what the Empire does to counter.
I didn't hear. Did Kornel say he's ready, or?
I think he did.
Okay, so Wombat is now thinking hard about what to do. I don't know, when you're in the moment, the costs, when you don't have this bird's eye view of hindsight, the costs can seem overwhelming. So he might not play the secure the plans just because it seems too expensive.
All right, I'll go ahead and do proceeding as planned.
Something's happening.
That is an
Something's
interesting
happening.
card to play. That's a very interesting card to play in this scenario if you're not trying to do something.
Yeah.
That can be a lot of things.
Can be.
Yeah, I'm very interested. But
I think he's going to try to pop the second Death Star out. That's what I think he's going to do.
Yeah, I can't see taking the super laser with it, so I don't really see what else it could be.
I bet you he pops it on Endor. It would be expensive, but
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how we should interpret his white dots here, but does that mean he thinks it's more likely to be there? Because he put a ton of white dots on Endor.
I do a thing kind of like that where I will, whenever there's a move like, hey, he sabotaged Bespin, like, okay, well that kind of indicates he might be on Endor, and I'll put little dots, right, that you know, okay, well he's done 3 things that make me think it's Endor, as just a quick way to kind of keep track of it.
Yeah, so he might just pop up on Endor, and sadly, it turns out the rebel base is nowhere near.
So
Endor.
interesting.
No,
Construct
it's
factory.
Factory.
Oh, I think he wants that for Salukami. He can't want it for Utapau. Or maybe he does. Maybe he thinks he needs more ships.
Yeah. Well, there we go. We were both wrong about what he would do with that. But the question is whether he was wrong to take a card like that this turn. I really don't think. I don't see what. Construct factory just doesn't seem that useful to me this turn.
No, he doesn't need the ships. He's got a good ship advantage over the rebels. It's not like there's 3 Moncals out there, so I don't think you do it on Utapau. Maybe he's thinking he does it on Salukami and gets the shield bunker, but I doubt that. Is he scared about a cut supply lines, possibly?
There's no need to be scared of that at all, because the
We'll do
Salukami
3 moves.
force can just leave.
Just just take everybody out. Yep.
Abandon it. Utapau either is going to get removed by R&D, or Kornel's going to make it neutral, and either way, it's not a concern for cut supply lines.
And as predicted, you're right. He goes Utapau neutral turn 1, which I agree with what you're saying. That it's that's just a very odd move to do, unless it's to open it up for a base. That's like the only possible thing to do there. Building alliance. Really? Oh, he's going to block it. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Well, yeah, he did only send Riken on it, so the chances are not that good.
Interesting. Now he's tipped his hand too. We'll see. And now it's can't be used for the base now. So.
Well, not yet. Anyway, we'll see. It's always rough being down leaders on the rebels, because he can unsabotage it, and then the rebels can just immediately re-sabotage it.
Construct a factory.
Yes, he really wants those ships.
He really wants those ships. Ugh. Like you say, I think it's kind of overkill. I don't think he needs them.
Okay.
Because he really doesn't want the game to go so long here. When he's down a leader like this, he's just going to be bleeding advantage every turn.
It's going to be an interesting kind of stalled out turn, I bet you.
Yeah, not a lot going to happen, which is exactly what Kornel wants.
Try to sabotage Corellia.
Corellia is what's getting sabotaged. Yeah. Okay. And that's probably where the Incite Rebellion is going to come up too, because now Madine's there to provide ground leadership.
Yeah, he's going to have to play Covert Op to draw sabotage the card first.
Mm-hmm. Well, he might be fine with just taking Liberation in this case, because he doesn't really want to remove that sabotage token with the TIE fighter there. So he might be happy just to accept Liberation and save the seize control for another day.
Yeah. I think Liberation's an easier one to score generally.
It's true. It is. It is.
And his choice is going to be between Liberation and the popular support, so that's going to get buried.
Yeah, that's no choice at all at this point.
Well, I'm gonna do covert oaks. I'm just thinking there.
Why would he not do it on Corellia? It seems like the obvious place.
Yeah, maybe he wants to
Go to
try to bluff to block a fleet or something, but yeah, he doesn't have to get it this turn. It's not a do or die.
safe thing for area.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll do this second. Okay.
Could have done it maybe on Bathui or Rhodia or Selokami and try to draw a leader out, but I don't think that was going to happen either way.
Yeah, like none of those fleets needed to move this turn, really.
I think he needs to move to Kashyyyk from Selokami. What do you think?
Well, it's not a build turn.
It's not, but if he does, I guess he's got an assault carrier coming up, so he could throw that down. But then again, he's got a fleet. He's got a Moncal he could throw to defend Cato Nemoria. I think he needs to go to Kashyyyk here, personally, but it gives him access to a bunch of different systems and blocks production and potential of that Moncal coming out to threaten you.
But there's always the Wookiees. The Wookiees are so scary to send a Star Destroyer there.
True.
It'll be a lot safer next turn because then you'll know whether the rebels have Chewie or not, right? One more leader is still going to come. Sending that Star Destroyer to Kashyyyk means if Chewie pops up, you might just be sending it to its death. I think if it were me,
I'd split the difference.
Yeah, Alistair.
Which, yeah, it gives him the same thing. He can still put an assault carrier there and cover both those. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That Salu Star Destroyer.
Yep.
If you look at his map, it's sort of like it doesn't even know where it wants to go. Like everything around it is a potential rebel base. So you really don't want to move it out of position until you draw maybe the Felucia and the Kessel probe cards.
That's tricky. It is tricky.
So I agree with that. I think Alistair is the better move. It's very central, and it lets you lock down that Cato production.
Rule by fear on Corellia?
Yeah, where is he planning to use that? That's a good
I think
question.
he's planning it on Selokami, but
rule by fear
Corellia I think makes sense.
Corellia.
Yeah, now you can block the. He's gonna. Okay.
Emperor's feeling extra scary today with a 3.
3.
Oh, that's no good. Double whammy there.
Okay, go ahead.
Does mess with my plans though.
I think you do it anyway on Corellia.
Yeah, I mean that's entirely what he set up for, and I don't see any other targets.
You could always just save it, but
that's true. I mean, he has 2 objectives, both of which that card kind of needs to score. It needs to score one of them for sure. And 5-3 on politics is only okay for the defender, or for the attacker rather.
yeah. He could also score on Corellia with plan the assault later.
That is absolutely right.
Yeah, I think I save it. You could spawn on Corellia and attack Corellia next turn. Yeah, he passed.
Okay.
Smart move.
I will R&D.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, he got his Death Star, instant Death Star
Got
anyway.
it. Got it anyway. He got it anyway, even without the
Interesting.
oversea project, or without using the having burnt the action card on
So
Destruct Factory.
here's he's now seen the Endor probe, which he knows now that's a really strong fake that he could play on.
Oh, we're talking
Best.
Kornel now. Yeah, you're right.
He's also seen Dagobah is available, Naboo is available.
I will stay where I am. And
Well, seeing Endor this turn, I'm
No
afraid is
objectives
now
to
kind of
score.
one turn too late.
Yep.
He didn't sabotage Bespin,
Well,
and
let's see what he gets. Got some good cards. Got hit and run.
hit and run there, sabotage.
discard
Yeah,
one. Let's discard the
sure
Daring
could
Rescue.
use Chewie as the rebels with that sabotage having
I've
come
got
up.
3 to discard here.
Interesting. Noble sacrifice. I guess you gotta get Han.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
You
no.
don't need.
He went for.
Wow,
Interesting.
wow. I don't see why you would do this here. He's already got so much intel. When you took Cassian,
Yep.
and he already has Madine, he can already play every intel mission he could ever want. I don't see why not to take Han there. It's true that an old friend is not a great action card of this situation, but Han's he's got the symbols that you need. Here, he's
are
not
those?
holding lead the
I
strike
can
team,
just
but it could
grab
come up.
Oh, so far discarded interrogation droid and interrogation. Got one more to go.
All right.
And he's holding. Combat has to discard a ton
I
of
haven't
cards
picked
here.
yet either.
That's what happens when
He's
you
gonna have to
drop
discard
project.
I went
one of
with
those fist
X-Wing,
cards. Probably
X-Wing
retrieve the
to-
plans. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't even have a triple fist leader
and,
yet.
Vanguard to the base, and the Speeder and the Moncal to Kato.
Yeah, there he's gonna try to score on Corellia with the Moncal.
Yeah.
And he's also kind of threatening Heart of the Empire too.
I guess you should.
I'll go
Oh,
ahead and
wow.
discard construct the star.
Oh boy. No, why would you keep those triple fist cards? You're never gonna play them.
Well, he's got Boba Fett finally. Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't know that when he made that discard.
True, but yeah, I would have discarded, retrieve the plans.
Yeah.
And continue my habit of not moving around the board this game.
Oh, you took Vader 2.0.
Yeah. When you're sitting on secure the plans like that, that second Death Star combo is a nice one. All right, if you lose the first one, you in the Dantooine corner, you just build the second one right on top of them and win the game next turn. So I think that might prove to be fatal.
If he can get a capture, he's set up nicely to score the carbon freeze with Boba Fett's action card, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to matter.
But it's going to be so expensive, right? Because if he wants to keep the hero captured, if he plays Boba Fett's action card, Boba Fett Wear, he doesn't have any other triple fist leaders.
Yeah, you're right. He'd have to play. That'd be 3 leaders for 1 objective point or one.
Which
reputation.
is worth it. 1 reputation is worth spending 3 leaders, but it's not like you're going to play return the plans, retrieve the plans. It's not like you're going to play that in the same turn. He doesn't have 7 fists.
See, he's still sleeping on the Death Star danger. See if he throws some fighters or the assault carrier maybe over there.
Yeah, all I can say is it really seems like he's just convinced that he's not in that corner. Somehow, even though Dantooine, I don't know, it seems very plausible to me.
Yeah.
Right, risky, of course, but plausible. And even Ilum is dangerous because from Ilum you could very easily rescue the ground force on Ord Mantell and get them back to the base. So I wouldn't have ruled out either of those as potential bases.
Maybe he's thinking that because the Dodonna play last turn. He was probably thinking, well, if he's going to attack me, he'll do it now, and he didn't. And now, and now he's got to. He doesn't have. Let's see if he saves a ship. I think I might save that Star Destroyer, but
Oh yeah, at this stage it's pretty typical to. You don't want to put your Star Destroyers down until you know where you need them. Although, might be tempting to put it on Coruscant just to start building up to defend against that Moncal that's coming for it.
that could be big.
Yeah, the defenses are tightening. I mean, maybe, as always, it's so easy to throw criticism when you're watching the game and you know everything. I mean, Kornel didn't attack last turn, and we were so convinced that he should have. But I mean, it's turn 5. He was maybe still hoping he was going to get 1 in a million, right? That's all. That's sort of the obvious thing to delay for.
Well, it makes sense too. If you reveal the base before a build turn like that, then it cuts down your options because he could have thrown ships at all kinds of different corners. He did have the Moncal to help defend it, but even so, it gets dangerous. You get into a death spiral at that point where you've got like one unit on the rebel base and you just can't do anything, and the Empire's just going to step on it.
Yeah, very true. But I mean, he could have used Plan the Assault to hit the Death Star that turn too.
Yep,
It
you're
looks
right.
like that's what he's going for this turn. Oh, and he's currently put 3 units on Megiddo, so that's currently illegal.
Yeah, you're right. Let's see if he catches it. If
That's
not, I'll
right,
remind him.
All right, he really, really doesn't want to lose Utapau again. So he's going to send a walker there.
Which could get taken out by Medine.
It'd still get taken out by Medine, so I'm not sure it's worth it for that reason. Unless you also send the TIE fighter there too, then it's pretty much indestructible.
Rebels do have options. They got to survive
You're
this
the
first
case,
turn, though.
Got a Star Destroyer. Did I put the Striker on there too this turn? Yeah, I might have.
I think it plays the 2.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. I
The
did.
2 ground units last turn. Not sure. Really.
Yeah, I did place the 2 ground last turn. I think you're right. I did put 3 there this turn.
We'll see. I think I'm tempted to use Medine on my Jito, actually, if I'm Kornel.
Just get rid of those ground troops, Tom. Make sure they can't go anywhere.
Yeah, you know that he doesn't have Ilum in the probes because he put the extra ship there.
Okay, I'll do it like
You
that.
can't be sure you're going to win that fight.
My missions, I guess.
So this lets you attack and not get taken
Not
out.
lose. Yeah, it's true, but it doesn't look like he's going to do it. He's keeping Lando back instead. Now remember, he's using Plan the Assault on the Death Star, so he's maybe very much hoping that he won't actually know.
He's not going to win that fight. I guess maybe he thinks
You could probably get the assault transport, but
I don't know. He's on the razor's edge here again. We'll see if he gets cut out. I'd be tempted to hit and run to take out the ATST after the troop goes to Ilum?
Yeah, if you get lucky in terms of which order he decides to check them in.
Well, what's your philosophy on that? It's always you go to the one that's the worst for you, right? Which
That's right.
probably Dantooine in this scenario.
Oh, it's very tough to know actually here. I don't know. I feel Ilum's actually the more dangerous one because if he's on
Yeah.
Ilum, it's just so easy to rescue that ground force. And if the Death Star goes kaboom, like check out the ground forces in that sector. There's really nothing there, right? There's nothing that can if those 2 speeders get back into the base. It's going to be incredibly hard to build up a ground force that can take it out. You're really relying on the super laser. And there will be no super laser if the Death Star goes.
Interesting. Why secure the plans?
Yeah, it would have been the thing to do last turn. This turn it's too late. Too late. He had a beautiful window to do it last turn when Kornel sent Dodonna to the base because you knew that nothing was jumping out. You knew that plan the assault was unlikely because Dodonna would have normally been the one on it. So if he was going to do this double intel move here, last turn was a beautiful turn to do it, and this turn, if he's going to attack your Death Star, he's going to do it before you can secure the plan. So it's unfortunately just a wasted move here.
Well, maybe not because, well, he's gonna put Dodonna on the Death Star. You could do the whole put Boba Fett on my Jito, but
yeah, that would be a way to do it. But even that fails if it turns out the Rebel base is in fact already next to you,
which it is.
which it is.
I bet you he does not use it. Well, I guess he's going to use Yon first turn. Hope he gets one of those transport ships. That's still a dangerous move, though.
Yeah, I mean, so this is a situation, and actually I think about this a lot when I'm playing, where Kornel has actually put himself in a bit of a rough spot here, because he's created a situation where, I mean, I guess he doesn't necessarily know about the secure the plans risk, but he has to be aware of it, that it is a risk, and so he's created a situation for himself where he has 2 forcing moves that he really wants to do first, right? If he doesn't have that Moncal
I am
head to Corellia right away.
I have a phone call. I will pick it up real fast.
Yeah, no problem. I'm
Um,
gonna grab some
2
water.
minutes max.
then it's obviously it's overwhelmed by that Star Destroyer there that has all the fighter support that could come in from Alistair. So he has one move that he really has to make as his first move, but then he has another move that he really has to make as his first move, which is hitting the Death Star. Now maybe the thing is he thinks that he doesn't have to do that right away, because not only do the Empire have to be playing secure the plans, but they haven't actually yet secured a remote system to play it on.
Yep.
So maybe that's why he's a little bit less concerned, and
Right, I'm back.
and isn't too worried.
Already.
Let's go.
Here's my prediction. He'll attack Corellia first and hope.
Start to land
Yeah.
there on Mars.
Oh, why?
With,
Oh, I guess
all
he's
my
got
guys.
crippling blow. Okay. Yeah, he's got crippling blow.
Is anyone?
Maybe.
And he's
Yeah, I
got
mean,
major victory. I forgot.
Either way, he had to use that cruiser first, right? So this is one of the big principles that I play by, is that you don't want to give yourself too many or you don't want to give yourself any forcing moves if you can avoid it. And if you do give yourself one forcing move, make sure you don't have any others. where you have to respond right away.
I will not send anyone.
Okay.
Yeah, it's difficult, easier said than done, but yeah, you're right.
Because there's all sorts of things that the
I'll
opponent
see
can
you
do
next round.
if you have
I'll see
too many forcing moves. All right, so he's going for the no healing damage, so he just wants to make sure any TIE fighters he kills
That's 1 damage on Star Destroyer.
stay dead.
TIE fighter.
Well, he's
I don't
also
think
he's trying to save. He needs to save draw their fire.
Yeah, that's right. And this is a spot where he knew that Wombat had already burned the TIE fighter card, because if he hadn't, this would have been a very dangerous attack.
Which you said not to.
Which I said not to, and this is why.
He didn't listen.
Yeah, possibly because he couldn't hear me. Which is kind of the point, but okay, here we go.
Kill the Vanguard.
Okay. Just 4 on one of those guys.
Yeah, I think this is really the crippling blow that Kornel's going for here.
Wow. Bad. Let's reroll 1. Blank. I'm going to do 2 on the Stormtrooper.
Yeah, it's a smart move.
Yeah, he's just trying to make absolutely sure. So this is really telegraphing that it's the crippling blow that he's going for.
Killed those
And
guys.
he almost saves the walker.
Yeah,
He didn't have Alistair's luck for the 3 sabers.
Yep.
Oh, that's only against you. I have terrible combat luck against my real life friends. It's almost comical.
So we got the objective.
And there we go. The crippling blow has been scored, but at the cost of your only Mon Cal, perhaps. It's going to be hunted down now without support. So we'll see if it's worth it.
This has got to be secure the plans, right? I guess you could be scared of the hidden fleet, but...
The hidden fleet on spec. Yeah, I mean, the problem is you don't know, since he hasn't secured any locations, where do you put it? I mean, if you're just putting it on an empty spot.
Secure the plans.
There we go. He's doing it.
These guys.
That's kind of... Well, actually interesting decision
I
here.
did this in the total wrong order. Do you...
Oh, he's then telling him he has it, and now he's not using it.
Man.
Oh.
No, you...
I know.
No, you know. It's okay.
Oh boy, what a mistake.
It's either an interdictor or that one.
Yep, makes sense.
Just don't blame me if it turns out to be the right order. Okay.
Now you got to attack. Yep, he's going for it.
Yeah.
Bad call.
Do you oppose?
Yes.
I mean, I would have opposed with Leia, but...
No, don't oppose. Don't oppose.
Makes sense. I think I will with Piet.
Okay.
And what do you think? I think don't oppose, because you need to be able to attack Dantooine.
Well, you need to pursue those fleets first. I think opposing is okay because he's holding. They can't escape.
Let's go.
Yeah. I don't think.
Right, so
I don't think the Force survives this, though.
Well, but they have a much better chance of surviving. Or do you mean the Rebel Force?
The rebels.
Oh, I mean, if you don't send a leader, they're not likely to lose much at all. They'll lose the Nebulan, and that's about it.
Yeah, true. It's just it's not enough to beat the rest of the fleet.
Yeah, I would play
cards if you want to.
Yeah, I would play PS card here just to make sure that just to make sure they can't get away, because you want to kill fighters when you're on defense.
Okay.
But no, he's not going to play it.
I don't know what he's waiting for.
Yeah, like what? Killing that Mon Cal, I guess.
He doesn't have much to play here. I guess Overwhelming Presence makes sense.
I'll let overwhelming.
I will block out 2 of your damage after the turn.
Yeah, he kind of had to lead with the Nebulan card here because it's probably going to die no matter what he does with those 5 red dice from the Death Star.
Roll the 2 green.
But there's lots of critical hits
Okay,
coming.
so 1 damage to the TIE Fighter, 3 damage to the carrier.
Yeah, no, I think sending Piet here is right just because you want to maintain your... The Rebels don't have any forces on the build queue, right? So it's not like the base can reinforce. So you just want to preserve the fab in this area. You don't. There's no need to step on the base this turn if it's here.
Yeah, the Nebulan is certainly dead.
And I'll reroll 2.
Okay. Makes sense. If you want to save these guys.
And like we have to always remember, we see too much, right? But because Kornel used Plan the Assault,
Okay. So you have
Wombat has no idea
Yeah,
that the base
thank
is
you.
in this
But
sector,
you
right?
can
He
keep one of
just doesn't
the
know.
ships, I guess.
X-Wing.
Okay.
That's fine.
Let's see how lucky I am.
Yeah, and here we go. It's going to come down to
On me
this
and this time, just
with
50-50. Is that it?
good
50-50.
around that, yeah.
oh, it's actually quite a bit less than 50-50. It's more like
Yeah.
33.
33, yeah. Yeah, you got it.
There we go.
There it is.
Oh boy, lucky Kornel today.
Good one stay.
Because it was unlikely he was going to get another round,
Chances
having
we
lost the
have,
Nebulan with Piet there, with as a leader.
let's
Without a
see.
leader, he probably was going to get 2
Wounded
shots.
card.
So to me, that's the other reason why sending Piet is not a bad choice, because you know if the Rebels had 1 in a million, you knew that all they needed was 1 shot. But in this case, they might well have needed more than 1 shot, and Piet increases your chances of reducing the number of shots that they get. Without 1 in a million. And this is why he sent Piet
Yeah,
too.
I'm
We
going to
forgot about
stay
this.
here.
He's sitting on track them,
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
so there's no worries about that.
Kornel's played too many times. He's not gonna retreat. Which is another tell if the base is there.
Yeah.
I'll play the no heal card.
Alright. 3-1. Okay.
Yeah, what
So,
Kornel's really hoping to do
yeah,
here
just
is
trying to
kill
the carrier with
the carrier and
1
make
extra
so that
damage and the TIE fighters.
so that
Okay,
combat
so
has
I've
to
got 4 and
guess where the
3-1.
base is.
Yes.
And he saved everything. He's got Alistair's luck with the sabers today.
That's right.
Not. Yeah.
Oh, he hasn't. There was actually overkill on that.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, and there he goes. He gets it too. He gets it too.
Stay.
Yeah, I can stay. No reason to. There was like little reason to retreat last time. Maybe I can stay for another objective, but I don't want to risk you having. No, you don't get to play a card this turn.
Oh yeah. Okay, this turn, you're right.
I would just Ion Blast the carrier with 1 more damage.
Yeah, he's just going all out on that carrier.
Let's reroll that. Okay, 1 hit on the TIE Fighter as well. You have 1 less back.
Oh, 1 less block. You want me to reroll?
No, it's all fine.
Yeah, the fighter was dead either way.
Got him, healed him, he dies. Unless I.
Well, you
reroll
can
him.
still reroll. Reroll for a heal.
Nope.
At least the carrier is down. Okay.
And there we go. He succeeds in his goal, and he gets the carrier. And he's popped the Death Star, so that's looking good.
I could refresh my hand, and you couldn't. I guess that's that's something.
But there's not a lot of rebel troops anywhere in sight, is the problem. Nothing on the queue. One vulnerable cruiser on the board. I don't see how that's going to escape and get back to any kind of base, no matter, even if he moves the base. And the only recruiting grounds he have, Kato and Kashyyyk, can be stepped on. So even though that was a sort of a master stroke in terms of defending the base.
Yeah, only
picking up Death Star.
one move left for the Empire, though.
No, that's true. That's true. So he's going to get some recruitment that way.
Where's that one move got to be? I guess it's got to be Kato.
Got to be Kato. You don't want speeders getting into the base.
He's got his Mon Calamari card back now to try to retreat.
Well, but remember, if Piet is the one to attack, then he can't retreat. Now he can't do that this turn. But as long as you just sort of stay on top of that cruiser, it can never get away back to the base. And it has to retreat to Kashyyyk this turn. And if it does, you can play Track Them then.
True.
And get an extra move. So Track Them is just a very, very powerful card. It's always good to have.
Yeah. You tend to use, my observation of you tend to use cards like that early. And I think most people tend to try to save them. What do you think? You think that's accurate?
Oh, I don't know if I make any conscious choice to use them early. Generally, I find you want to cash things when you can and build up an incremental advantage. That way.
Not the base.
But Track Them is a valuable card to have, and I mean it's one that you don't really have a lot. You don't really have the choice of when you're going to play it, right? If the rebels just never retreat,
Yeah, it's the.
Then you don't have the option. But there's nothing worse than ending a game that you lose with a bunch of action cards in hand unplayed.
Yeah, good block 2. And
flip the order back, I'm guessing.
I choose not to play another card.
Really?
No, I mean he doesn't need to flip the order, right? All it's going to get him is maybe a couple TIE fighter kills, maybe one.
Okay, so 2 damage on both TIE fighters.
There we go. And it's not like Jar Jar has a lot of rerolls, so there wasn't a big chance of saving both of them anyway.
Right, just one on the Mon Cal.
Yeah. Do you retreat? Do you stay?
I will stay.
I will retreat there this time. Go with Kashyyyk.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
and so now
he'll track.
I would play Track Them here for sure to get an extra move back this turn.
Yeah, and now you can obliterate that Mon Cal once and for all.
Yeah, now that the defense card is gone, it was probably a mistake of Kornel to play it there because he really didn't need it. With Jar Jar as a leader, it was incredibly unlikely you were going to get 5 hits on 4 dice or 4 hits on 5 dice.
Yep.
Okay. Infiltrate. Ready?
Just trying to set up the upright Incite Rebellion there.
Yeah, absolutely. Going for that this time.
Ooh, interesting.
Now, my guess is...
Show no fear. Interesting.
Okay.
I guess it wasn't likely to. I don't think he's going to score either of those, but I think I would have kept the uprising.
Well, he's just so far behind on loyalty, like you said, though. All right, so last turn, Wombat decided that Corellia was a dangerous spot and he wanted to rule by fear there. I'm kind of surprised he actually didn't do it as his previous move with the Empire, because there was no rush to attack Lando, right? That cruiser. Well, I guess you might be worried that he has the card to move Lando somewhere else and free up that cruiser, but I don't know. That doesn't seem like a huge concern.
And it's not going to be able to go anywhere to get away.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe attack Mandalore and then move to retreat to. Well, no, he can't. Yeah, he's got nowhere to go with it either way.
Yeah, but I mean, he knows Kornel was trying to do something fishy on Corellia last turn, so kind of surprised he doesn't just build the rule by fear there since he put it down.
Yeah, and he's got the R&D to play afterwards too.
Exactly. Exactly. So I don't know why he's thinking about using Jarjara. Well, I mean, maybe the same reason as before. He doesn't want that Lando suddenly teleporting in to move the cruiser, but
Okay, let's go ahead and choose Kashyyyk.
Okay. What do you bring? You have some choices there.
Lets him check a base spot too.
oh yeah, and shut down production. I mean, yeah, attacking Kashyyyk was going to happen.
Anything from Kito?
Not sure yet.
Okay.
Oh, you got to bring that Star Destroyer from Kato, otherwise it's going to get away again. You need those red dice.
He's
I mean,
got a pretty good shot of getting it with the TIE Fighter card.
Yeah, he's got the TIE Fighter card back. Yeah, it's pretty good, but it's not amazing. Because remember, Jared is not giving you very good rerolls here.
You see, well, you would need 2 hits on 6 dice. Well, he's going to bring it.
Yeah, 2 hits on 6 dice. Well, minimum, and most likely Lando can get a red lightsaber to save it here. All right, so here comes the TIE Fighter card as expected.
I guess he's just wasting escort.
Yeah, he knows that the game's kind of up. He just needs to go for luck. Hope that those hits don't come. And now Combat's being greedy. He's thinking about not playing the TIE Fighter card because he brought so much. But I mean, what else are you going to use it against? The Rebels have no fleet.
Yep. And he makes the right call.
I'll do 2.
Okay.
Yeah, there's just no reason you need to save it at this point.
Got 2 more hits, 1 more. And there's overkill. So he needs 2 sabers to save.
Not very likely.
And nothing.
Goes down and goes back.
All right, the Rebels are doing pretty okay objectives, but they've got nothing left. A pair of measly infantry. If only those ground troops that are all stuck on Ord Mantell were in the base, Rebels would be looking in very good shape right now.
Yep. Yeah, and then it's like, well, could you have kept a speeder, maybe?
Try to incite rebellion on.
Then I guess you're less likely to get that kill. In the turn
yeah,
one.
that's where that 20% comes up. Kornel had tried exactly that move, and it was on me that he tried it, and it failed because he only had the 1 speeder there. The second red die makes a huge difference in in getting the kill.
It always comes back to being aggressive with the rebels early. Is even if it works, it's not a guarantee of winning.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
Oh, come on. I take the heals and one is dead.
Now you just have a very limited number of troops, and if you lose, throw them away. Sometimes you just don't have enough.
I just block some.
Here's a question: Do you play?
Yeah.
Do you play Seize Control or Liberation here? I think Seize Control.
It's usually the harder one to score. But honestly, the rebels they're not sitting on any way to score any of the others at this point either. But I think he's gonna play Seize Control.
Yep.
I will leave that marker, the sabotage marker, as it is.
So I think one thing we can definitely say about this game is that if Kornel loses, it's more or less proof that this ornamentality is just a bad idea. Because everything about the trap went pretty much as well as you could possibly hope.
All right.
Right, the first 3 turns really went Kornel's way, and then if he loses anyway, it just shows it's just not worth stranding that very powerful starting ground army, just stranding it on Ornamental for the entire game.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of traps. I don't do them anymore because of what we just talked about. If I am going to do a trap, it's going to be someplace where you can maintain your production, perhaps. Like I said, like a Bathui in this game. You know, you could do the Utapau trap, maybe, that kind of stuff, where you get production and you get that force still intact if it succeeds.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Kornel is really still going on opening up Utapau as a potential base.
Some layover.
Yeah, I think it's a day late. Oh, 6 sabers. Not gonna.
Oh
can't
boy,
beat it.
the Emperor. The Emperor has decided there's no fooling around.
Stays loyal.
There's just no fooling around.
Okay then.
I mean, obviously, Kornel's plan was to use Medine to take out that walker and be able to move the base there later.
Yeah, that wasn't going to work. Well, he does have hit and run, but he would have to do because he's going to deploy some more there.
Well, he was going to sabotage it, is what he was going to do.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Right, make it neutral, and then sabotage, and then nothing new can come in, and then Medine goes in. That was the plan, but the Emperor has foiled it with his force sensitivity.
Everything is going as he has foreseen.
Yes, indeed. Actually, honestly, I don't think anything is going as Combat Wombat has foreseen there, right? As that secure the plans debacle kind of showed. But he might win anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
Power. If he had just slapped down that secure the plans, it would have wrecked Kornel's entire turn.
Let's see. He is no, he's not RMing.
Okay.
There are some bases out there that could work. Kessel would be nice.
Yeah, Kessel's very good right now. I mean, we know that it makes sense he didn't R&D because we know his plan He was planning to go to Utapau. He's really tried to put a lot of work into that. But that seems to have been foiled probably once and for all now.
Why would he get the super laser?
Yeah, I don't understand that one at all.
It is.
He already knows.
He'd have to R&D like 4 more times before.
No, it's been discarded.
Oh, you're right.
Reshuffle?
It's discarded. You're right. It's discarded.
Yeah, no, I don't know why he would do that.
That was just a straight up mistake, I would say. Well, he got Ilum. That's big for him.
Yeah, he's been waiting for that one for a long time. In fact, it's probably game.
Well, Medine is still out there, so he could drop. He's gonna have to drop troops on
True.
Nalheta, or on the base, excuse me.
On Megiddo, yeah.
And then ambush Megiddo. Of course, hunt them down is still there, so not looking good.
True, but you're right. With Medine plus ambush, you can take out 5, or plus hit and run. You can take out 5 hit points of ground troops.
Yeah.
So, and the most he can put there is another 2 walkers. Well, he probably can't even put walkers. I don't think he has any walker production left.
Nope.
So yeah, Medine plus a hit and run can kill all the ground troops that are there. So Kornel is safe for one more turn.
To the base. And the Wyvern is...
Well, he does have Oversee Project.
Place that's right. Place a big walker there from Sullust. We'll see if he thinks of that.
I discarded a couple of missions.
So he'd have Kornel's got to reveal the base. That's what he's got to do.
If he goes for that play, yeah. To take out the ground troops.
You got to be scared of planetary conquest, but
yeah, and with Boba Fett here, it's definitely a possibility.
This is a point in the game where I would throw Boba Fett, even if I didn't have planetary conquest, just to make it look like I did.
Yeah, and he can't know whether you have blindside either. So if your plan is to, well, maybe, oppose it somehow, well, that's not really in the cards.
You gotta... Why did he... I would have put the U-Wing and a troop in the base so that you could... Does he have the deployment card? Yes, he does.
Beef up the ground force even a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, it depends a little bit on what the game plan is. How do you plan to win at this point?
Yeah.
Because, holding out for 1 extra turn on Dantooine is great, but it doesn't win the game.
Well, if he'd showed no fear, then he might have been able to.
Was that playable last turn? I didn't notice.
I'm trying to remember. Did he? No, he just drew it. He just drew it this turn.
Yeah.
Yep. So too late.
Yeah, it's a very, very slow card. So like what he's really doing is he's just really wanting to pull the usual cards, Public Uprising, the second Incite Rebellion, and use that to score things like Famous Victory and Liberation.
Well, if he can survive one more turn, he could theoretically score Liberation. He should know what probes are coming up, which would be Geonosis, Alderaan, Alistair, Bespin, possibly down to Kato. Kessel is in there.
Yeah, that's right. Kessel is a good spot.
Okay, I am deployed.
All right.
Well, at this stage, Combat Wombat knows he has to just have coverage everywhere. He has to be able to cover any spot at all. Geonosis is actually a little bit troublesome right now, because he doesn't have a lot of movement capability in that corner. Now, he can put down a Star Destroyer there for next turn, but he's got to make sure that he's got the sabotage-free systems to do it.
Not doing hit and run here is probably going to cost him the game. He put it back.
So far, he's still thinking though, so we'll see. Yeah, if you can just get away to somewhere like Kessel, Lando is actually going to be really strong, right? You can
So
kick away.
I'll start with an ambush.
Yep.
On my
All
vehicle.
right, all right.
It's not going to
Yeah.
be enough, though, without the hit and run. He's going to lose. He's got to... You got to pay attention here to the combat cards are going to be crucial.
Okay. Let me just double check, but
Yeah, Wombat's going to play
Would
hunt
you
them
like
down, and he's smart. He's got Oversea Project he's sitting on as well, so I think this is going to be game if he doesn't
yeah, it's
hit and
alright.
run it.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, that one Stormtrooper, in fact, is
Oh,
deadlier than he looks. Maybe. I mean, he doesn't necessarily get a kill.
Yeah, it's okay. I am set.
He'd be smart to hover over the base and then do the Oversea Project, I think.
Well, if that gives Kornel a chance to pop it up, right? Because your only
Yeah, to
transport is already
reveal it.
moved.
To reveal it, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
So I think that's counting too much on the opponent to make a mistake. I think the original plan is best. He took Soontir Fel. He's been sitting on his card. Bring in that Stormtrooper. Really hope it gets a hit, and then use Soontir Fel to finish the job. I think that's the better option. Kind of looks to me like he's playing a few too many projects, though. You really want to just spread out and get your coverage at this point.
Yeah. He doesn't have a ton of good moves, though. He's can go to Toydaria.
Yeah,
Felucia.
Toydaria is a must. Toydaria is a must. The Bothawi fleet can...
I guess, yeah,
Wow.
the Bothawi's got to go to Tatooine, I think, or Rhodia.
You know, Rhodia is much better. Yeah,
Yeah, Rhodia,
I mean,
Rhodia.
it's a bit of a waste since the Tatooine fleet or the Bothawi fleet is surrounded by places it already knows the base can't be or go, but it's got to get into position to access the important spots of Naboo and Geonosis.
Oh, wow, no RM from... I guess he thinks he's going to survive and
He's really just
block
I don't know.
my Gito.
Where in my Gito?
What?
Okay.
Why would he do that?
Holy cow.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, if we hypothesized it was a mistake for Kornel not to play the hit and run.
Well,
If
now
you
it's
assume
great.
that he really is playing a hit and
Is
run,
it okay for you if
Yeah,
I...
you can switch.
Well, he's
That's
got
fine.
no fists to play it. He
I
needs
can
2
trade
fists.
you, like,
Yeah, it's fine.
I
No
didn't
problem.
realize I can't draw the card after I blow the Death Star.
Yeah.
There are no
No, that's
tokens
true, that's
whatsoever
true.
I can pick up, so-
That's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
I've
problem.
done this exact same mistake before.
of being like heist is a good card.
I don't know if I would give it to him in this scenario like that, but whatever. Yeah, because you just look at it, you're like, oh yeah, I can draw an objective. That'd be nice. And then you forget, oh, I've destroyed the Death Star. I guess he should have just take the plans, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, which means that like it's actually still kind of viable to play it. Right, because I guess he knows the second Death Star has been thrown away, so.
Well, shoot, I guess I didn't see contingency plan there. Interesting. So, what do you go all out to sabotage my Jito?
Well, yeah. Now that Boba Fett has gone there, you can't sabotage Megiddo.
Oh yeah, okay.
Can't do anything there. That might have been the original plan, or at least by having Lando on contingency, you sort of see how the turn goes. You sabotage it if you can, and if it looks like it's not going to work, you move him to rapid mobile instead.
And he does have Geonosis to move to. We'll see if he will spawn a fleet in Utapau, though, probably.
Yeah, if it doesn't get sabotaged.
So this is where you go next level. If you're real smart, you can sabotage. Well, you gotta make Utapau neutral, sabotage it. Then, even if that, well, actually no, because then that fleet comes in from Bathui.
Yeah, I'll do 2
He'd have
missions.
to get Utapau sabotaged, and that
Um,
assault carrier on Bathui has got to somehow stay away from Geonosis.
Go ahead.
Think your shenanigans.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case,
Though I think we can see now that Wombat didn't play R&D at all. So what he's really planning to do is just put that Star Destroyer onto Utapau, I think.
Yeah, he still has Oversea Project, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think...
Yeah, his plan is obviously just lock down Megiddo so that nothing can happen there, and put in things like the AT-AT next turn.
So it's a deploy. So if he sabotaged Utapau, you would not be able to...
Oh yeah, can't sabotage Utapau. Right, but he would have had to do it as his very first move,
Okay.
which was a very unlikely move for the Rebels.
Okay.
That they would sabotage it before having made it neutral.
Yeah.
So I think
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what you could count on.
It's still this is where the leader advantage comes in, though. He could slow play this a little bit, and there's still other systems out there. Dagobah, for example. Well, I guess the Star Destroyer takes care of Dagobah as well.
Yeah, no, he really needs that Star Destroyer on Utapau.
Alderaan is there as
Covers
well.
a lot of options.
Every grinder. Oh, at last. Some place to play this card.
Secret mission. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I could have. It's just I went against your loyalties most of the time.
Yep.
I realized that I had to pass on it.
Oh yes, lucky for Kornel there.
Look at 6 cards.
He's
Base
able to play that.
defenses could help.
That's one I forget about that too with Secret Mission, that you need a rebel system to play it in.
Good cards to have last turn, but
Oh, surely he's going to take Plant False Lead. There's no question.
another hit and run, I guess.
Well, yeah, the problem is, as you say, he's just really short on fists. I really feel he should have taken... oh, yeah, he's not going for Plant False Lead, huh? Just going to hunker... This is just a hunkering down move, then.
All right.
Yeah, I guess he thinks he can hit and run away. He's not going to hit and run away ATST.
And In 80-80, no, he's
AT-AT, yeah.
certainly not, and he's already burned Medine. Now, this here is a mistake by Combat, I think. Systems like Alderaan were really low priority to cover
Just one.
because you could do it any time, right? Like if he moves there, you just kill him immediately, right? He's got nothing coming on the track.
Yeah.
So it's more important to be getting into position to cover the places that are problematic rather than the ones that you could just crush even if he does go there.
Go send the donor here, just an activation.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess there is always the risk of the Wookiees taking you out on Kashyyyk, but
Oh, that might be a big mistake. Let's see if
oh, the Bothui fleet going that way.
yeah, let's see if he can hold his water on sabotaging Utapau.
Yeah, why on earth would you use that fleet? The one Star Destroyer is more than enough because you know that Kessel's the only spot.
It's not the base.
Yep.
I don't know why you would bring that Bothui transport. So here, the moving to Alderaan, I think you really should have done
Turn
moving from
lines on position.
building alliance on Fallujah. Are you finally going for regional support?
The 3 blanks is not too promising. Okay.
I guess he must be.
Maybe trying to fake out the well, okay, so regional support with Lando.
Yeah, I guess that must be one of the possible plans.
And then what, he hopes to score liberation somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, he was obviously hoping to get public uprising off of Cassian's mission.
It's a play. It's a possibility.
Oh yeah, for sure. You're hoping to get it.
He's still got Incite Rebellion and public uprising in there.
Yep. So I was hoping for one of those. It didn't pan out, but by thinning the deck, it maybe will come up at the end of the turn too. So it might still work out.
Okay, we'll do an oversee.
Oh.
All right, is it going to be in the right spot? This is where we're going to find out. No, he's just doubling down on Megiddo. I don't see why you would do it on Megiddo. You could put that there anyway at the end of the turn.
Give me a sec.
Right, there's the only other ground force on the queue is a tank, so you could already put the tank and the walker there at the end of the turn. And maybe that's what Combat is realizing right now. Because you really don't need any more air forces there. The Star Destroyer is more than enough.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm actually going to do it up here.
There we go. He made the right move after all. Just to make sure nothing funny happens up there.
We'll get this going.
Kashyyyk and Alderaan are both super vulnerable for liberation.
Yeah, if he just needs to get the card.
I have to think about this for just a moment.
Right, so now Kornel's in a tough spot. He knows that the gig's pretty much up on Megiddo next turn. So if he puts Lando on loyalty, he's got a shot. He's basically going for drawing one of those objective cards as his very first move. He could have put him on Rapid Mobile in the hopes of running to somewhere like Geonosis or Naboo, but I guess with the Star Destroyer having come down on Utapau, that is a lot less attractive.
I just noticed the Emperor sitting on gather intel. I'm not sure that makes
Did you notice
sense.
everything I do with the Lando have?
Oh yeah, no, I would have thought it was
Yep.
rule by
Okay.
fear.
I get it.
Leo will go to Selekami, I'm sure, before he plays Lando there.
Well, I don't really see why Piet can't stop it with the 2 free successes. I mean, I guess unless he's afraid
yeah.
of the Emperor being on subversion,
Sabotage.
but he'll get to see that first, right? He'll get to see if he passes.
What do you have
Yeah,
there?
sabotage and Kashyyyk just to set it up for a possible
Gotta gather intel.
Insight rebellion.
Oh, gathering intel. Well, wait, hold up. I can sell those.
Yeah, I might as well oppose it.
I will not do anything with Leia.
She can't do anything else.
Nothing.
Lando's guaranteed to
already
succeed
rolled?
against Piet.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't rolled yet.
Two against two.
Gets his intel.
Gets his 1 card.
Just trying to
Geonosis,
use,
important card.
plant false leads there.
I'll do.
I think he buried. Yeah, he buried intercept transmission, which would have been nice.
Succeeds because it does two for sure.
All right, this comes down to the mission. Does he get the mission he needs?
Regional.
Does the Empire get subversion?
Possibly, likely, maybe. Maybe close one. Discard.
No subversion for the Empire.
No mission for the
And
rebels.
No mission for the rebels, so it's going to be tough for them. But we do have to remember, Combat Wombat doesn't actually know that Dantooine is the base. He's obviously really suspecting it from that Medine play. And
I only have a.
it's obvious that that's kind of where he wants to put the big walker, but
to the base.
he doesn't actually know that that's where it is. And he can't actually check. Oh no, I guess he can check both Dagobah and Nebu with that Star Destroyer that's coming. So he's in good shape.
I will not deploy the Viving.
Okay.
Yep.
Hold on. You have this card.
Yeah, I mean there is major victory.
I might deploy the Viving.
Well, you'd have to
What do you
attack
have to
first
deploy?
turns, and that's not gonna. You're not gonna survive. You'd rather do hit and run, get rid of the trooper and the.
Oh,
And the tank, yeah.
what the hell do I do here?
Or do you do base defenses? But I guess he can just blow it. Well, he can't blow up the shield bunker turn 1.
Yeah, but you can cancel your card
Yeah.
and then blow it up on turn 2.
Yep.
It's hard to take down an AT-AT when you can't play the Vanguard card or anything like it. So I don't think the shield bunker gets you much.
Yeah, I think it's hit and run and
And keep Medine back for maximum leadership.
yeah.
I mean, you can go for both and hope that he doesn't make Dantooine his first move, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think his bluffing ability is gone at this point, but you could do like hit and run on Utapau or something like that. But
yeah, well, I mean, the advantage to playing base defense is the first move is it doesn't give anything away. right? A hit and run on Megiddo pretty much tells you that it's Dantooine.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine if he'd cleared Megiddo last turn with hit and run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will.
I guess the Emperor would be there,
Surviving.
but to rule by
Is the
fear.
one
But
on the base
I'm not on the base, on the vehicle.
or on
Not
the
gonna be- not gonna
on the
be-
cube.
and of course he had the option to deploy to Dantooine anyway. All right, I think this is all over, but for the crying for the poor rebels.
So this is, I have a useful metric for myself, and this game falls into that situation, I think. My definition of a close game is one where if you can pick a single chance event and say, if that one had gone the other way, then the outcome of the game would have definitely been different. It would have swung from a win to a loss. Then that's the definition of a close game. And if you can't pick one such event, then that means the game actually wasn't that close. And here we had such a chance event, right? If Kornel had drawn any of the
Incite Rebellion, Public
Incite
Uprising.
Rebellion or Public Uprising with his mission draw at the start of this turn, that was a single chance event that would have changed the outcome of the game, right? He just needed that one event to go the other way, and he would have almost certainly won. I mean, there's the chance that it gets opposed, but you would obviously stack it. You'd stack up as much as you possibly could on it, and go for it right away. So that when you can change the outcome with just a single event that goes different, that went your way, then that means the game is close. So that means this was a very, very close game.
I am going to.
What do you think about? I don't think it matters. I think he's going to Dantooine first move anyway. But what if you?
I can't believe that started.
What if you?
Yeah, go ahead.
What if you hit and run Utapau, take out the tank, the assault tank, and maybe a TIE fighter or something? Now you make him think maybe it's.
I think I'll do that for my deployment.
It's Dagobah, Naboo. Then you can, if he goes to Dagobah, Naboo, then you can
I'll do one
get the
You can change it up.
get the base defenses, and then maybe even then get another hit and run in. Maybe he's trying to do that. He's got 2 hit and runs down. We'll see.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you said earlier was right. I think most likely the chance for bluffing is over because of that Medine play last turn, right? Taking out those 3 ground troops there was very, very suspicious.
Yeah, I'll do that.
There was nothing to be gained except
if you weren't on Dantooine, there was really nothing to be gained by that.
Other than a great bluff. I think bluffing works a lot better against less experienced players, but against someone like you or even Wombat in this scenario, like he's too smart with knowing where the board coverage. So it's just like, maybe it's a good bluff, but it doesn't matter anyway. They're going to check what they're going to check regardless.
Yeah, well, I mean, bluffs like that, they're not very good if the other guy's able to reason out, like, okay, so like that might have been a bluff, but if you'd actually used it in a good spot, like say you really were on, I don't know, Endor or Dagobah or something, like if you use it there, you just win, right?
Yeah.
So there's no need to bluff, right? So they can reason out that it's not a bluff based on the fact that they just assume you didn't make a mistake.
Knowing that I cannot do half of.
And so the only time that the bluff really helps is if it's not really enough, no matter where it is, and you just need to sow confusion to. You're sort of dead no matter what, so you need to just hope the guy makes a mistake.
Yeah, even if by some miracle he survives a a round of combat with one trooper left against a walker, he's got he's gonna get taken out by hunt them down.
Hunt them down is there as a backup, yeah. And that's sort of true no matter where the base is, right? If Wombat comes in on from Utapau, or even from Alistair onto Dagobah, right?
Yep.
Right. If it's Kessel, obviously Kessel is like ironclad in terms of Empire. You know, you don't care if it's Kessel. If it's Kessel, you're going to win. I suppose the only other possible bluff that's of any value might be taking out that assault carrier that's on Mustafar.
Alright, let's go.
But it's not.
Yeah, it
great.
doesn't help much though. He's still got the other assault carrier on Utapau, and he's got too many ships in that region.
No, it doesn't help much. It just sort of splits up the ground force so that, like, say he's making him guess between Dagobah and Naboo, and if he guesses wrong with the tank, then he's just got a walker coming in on its own.
Maybe that ATST on Alistair.
Yeah, that can check Naboo. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. And yeah, there really doesn't seem to be a lot of.
Yeah, I think we're just biding our time here, waiting for the inevitable walker to stamp out the last traces of hope in the galaxy. You know, he did have an out if he'd saved Dodonna. If he'd have scored Liberation and not used Dodonna's mission, then he could have tried for Corellia with.
Yeah, you got to win the fight though. It's mutual's not good enough.
Yeah.
So it's rough, but maybe better than nothing.
That's going back like 3 turns though.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to say. That's the sort of thing you can't know what would have happened, because I mean, the whole value of playing Plan the Assault is that Wombat's been sitting here this whole time and he thinks it's on Dantooine, but he doesn't know. It's obvious that that's top of his radar at that point, and as it should be. But you know, this whole time he hasn't known for sure that it's Dantooine.
4 moves, 1 mission.
Okay, let's see what we got. I'm guessing.
Base defenses on the
Okay, like you said, doesn't give it away.
I will.
He's
try
gonna
to block that.
Okay.
Might as well.
Now, hold on, let me think about that.
Yeah, you might as well.
The big mistake he's made here is sending Tage on that mission with Sunterfell, because
Instead
that's
of Boba.
Yeah, instead of Boba.
And it's his best ground fighter. Yeah,
his only ground leader. Well, without the Emperor, right? Which is why he kind of needs to keep the Emperor. Oh no, he's not keeping the Emperor.
Yeah, he probably wasn't going to block it anyway, but. And here we go to Dantooine. I'm guessing.
He's got to do it. He's got to do it now, because a hit and run on Megiddo now would be a bit too devastating.
Tarkin. No. Set Piet. Piet will go to Dantooine with everything.
All the might of the Empire goes to Dantooine. This might be the end.
And this is probably why you were saying that he should have gotten a U-wing and put that into the base, because actually taking out that interceptor would have been valuable.
Yeah.
I really hope you are not going to start with that. Oh, I gave you.
Yeah, that Y-Wing even could do it with the Rogue
It
Squadron
could,
support.
although it sort of,
doesn't
you know,
really matter.
it makes you wish you'd taken an X-Wing instead.
Yeah, I find that often where I'm like, oh, I wish I had a transport on the queue right now, but I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I want a U-Wing instead because they're cooler looking.
Yeah, no, the U-Wing might have been good for splitting the difference here. Take out that interdictor. Even triggering any fight at all, though, because then playing the X-Wing card would have helped.
Hold them back. Definitely.
Okay.
Okay, wait, I know that you can cancel it.
Tough one here because if you play the useless Rogue One card, then he'll just say no card next turn, so you kind of have to play one of the other
Well,
two.
playing a good one's fine, right? Because you're probably not going to lose the shield generator.
Yeah, just activate
So
No,
you can
mistake.
Do you cancel it, or do you cancel my next one? Oh no, you
I
just
will,
cancel my next one in that case. So
Yeah, he just realized it. Okay.
I have to
Yeah.
share something that you don't want to see.
Yeah, minus. Yep, I think that's the right move.
Yeah, I'll cancel.
Yeah, you'll just pick it up again with the shield generator. So that's fine.
Big fight. The reason I wanted to play the Y-Wing is
One problem with the space unit though kind of comes
kill one of my guys with the
is if you get a blade intercept
I was
and
hoping you'd
blown it
play
up, blown up a ground trooper.
That's true. That's very
It
true.
would have given me some flexibility, but I wanted to do base defenses on turn. Personally, anyway, so.
Yeah, but he could just counter that by deploying a. He's got the U-Wing card to deploy the ground unit to replace it too.
Okay. Promising stuff for you. I want damage at least.
Yeah, now if only he had Tage here instead. But it's still looking pretty good. Without lightsabers, the rebels are dead.
There's one.
Okay, well, I get to save the Vanguard, which is nice, and also take out your trooper. I have the Rogue One card and the Vanguard card.
You can
wanna
draw a
take
card too.
Another one back from the shield generator.
Oh, you're right about that. Gotta take all them back. Oh, actually, wait. You can't cancel this anymore. Okay, nice. I can actually try to do shield generator stuff.
Now he's gotta play the Vanguard card here.
Yeah.
He's gotta hope for 4 hits total, kill everything this turn.
What'd you take? You took the shield generator card.
Nothing yet. Nothing yet.
Yeah, the only other option I think is to take the shield generator card. Yeah, like you said.
He's just gonna destroy it with target the generator.
Yeah, I mean if you take that card, you kind of have to. But maybe he won't. I don't know why you'd play the no reason to play the tank card. He's only going to be hitting on critical hits.
My hand is Rogue One.
Actually, I think imposing presence was the right play there, because then you can just switch
I'll
it.
do 2 damage.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd fall for that and
Only 1
go
damage.
for the 80-80.
2 damage,
It
right?
is 2.
At the Star Destroyer.
But isn't this the shield generator say you can't play it?
Oh, if there's not a shield
shit.
generator. I
Wow,
see.
I did not. Wow. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that so rarely comes up that they.
Okay, that's fine. I'll just do the one.
I don't think you could do more than 1 damage though. With any card. At the moment. So it doesn't really change much. If you want to go for damage, this is the maximum output you can do. With either this or the ATST. I did do to the ATST of course. 88. Yeah.
Okay, 2 to him.
I think that might be it.
Not necessarily. It depends on. If I kill everything, I'm still good. I just need to direct. Or you need a heal.
Yeah, interesting dilemma. I guess. I think you just well, actually no. You got to save the. You got to try for the saber here because you've got hunt them down.
I think I'm better off trying for this.
Okay.
Doesn't matter either way.
2 damage on the trooper. 1 damage on the vanguard.
Yep.
Oh, no, Bill.
No, one more try.
One more try.
And those 2 directs.
Saved them.
Get a heal. Get the
Should have done the
vanguard.
damage differently, I guess. All right.
Now he can play the. He can play. Yep, he can
The
play
Vanguard
the
card again.
Vanguard card again.
Yep.
He
No,
might have just won the game.
Yeah, it was a big mistake not to double up on the Vanguard. You needed 2 damage on the Vanguard.
Just try this.
Okay. I'll do 1 and 1. So you're exactly that.
Needs a saber. All of a sudden, it's turned around completely.
Yeah. Well, like I said, definition of a close game, right?
Have a red as well.
Yep.
A red dice.
Yep.
You have a red dice. Sorry, a green dice. Green dice.
Green dice. Yeah,
Doesn't matter. It's
I have
over.
green.
It's over.
Yeah, but you didn't
If he can
Oh,
actually
no,
kill,
no.
if he can actually kill the, it's now the ion cannon that he needs to kill,
Anyway.
and he did.
So 1 and 2 on the iron.
Oh,
doesn't
no, not good enough.
Doesn't matter.
So
Oh, I thought that was actually a hit.
kill the
Yeah.
ion, right?
You can't kill the iron. You are 1 off. And nothing on me.
Has he really rolled no red hits this whole time?
Yeah, I think you
I hadn't been paying attention.
No, I don't think so. He rolled direct hits.
Yeah.
Down to base defenses, man.
Oh, what the
What an unlikely ending.
Yeah, I did not predict that.
I can't kill
Oh,
the
you
ion
can.
with hunt them
It's
down.
3 health. 3 health.
Yep.
I had the 2 hit and run prepared. In case you start to... I know that you didn't know about Castle, Dagobah, and Naboo. So
Castle,
you had
Dagobah,
to...
Naboo.
Yeah, Castle, Dagobah.
Well, what
Naboo,
a
3
surprise
outside
ending.
Independent operation. But I guess I could have thrown some shade on Naboo by playing it on Master, but then I have to play Recon on a hit and run, and then the base defenses are weakened with just the Dona and Momoth.
Yeah,
I
where
didn't want
I
to risk
screwed
it.
up is I needed to do the 2 damage
You
on
had
the
to do,
Vanguard.
yeah, or
I
just
don't know
kill
what
the
I was thinking.
generator on the second turn with the 80-80 card right away.
Yeah,
It was a very close one. I had
bad on my end.
I had Utapo as my secret location. I really wanted to get that loyalty off while it was sabotaged and nothing was there. That was when after I killed the Death Star, so it was a perfect time to relocate to Utapo while nothing was close to it. The other thing I could have done when the 80-80 was here is to just get the loyalty, sabotage it, next turn do assault, or I wouldn't waste independent operation, but assault, and then do the relocation at the end of that turn. That could have worked. I was really hoping to get either planetary. No, what's that?
I thought maybe you had lead the strike team first.
No, I was
worried.
fishing. I was fishing for lead the strike team or any combat stuff really because I had liberation. And major victory as well, but I didn't have the ships in the end. Like it was after you finished off my on-call. I had Return of the Jedi, but just no
Did you fish for base defenses with secret mission?
Yeah. I was fishing for something that I can start the turn with scoring liberation. So either what's that? Uprising or rebellion or Inside Rebellion. But I didn't get any of those. There's 2 still back in the deck. Or Lead Distracted. But however, both troops not killed second to first round. Both. Oh well, you can watch it. You can watch it back on Twitch. I guess on YouTube.
Oh, so bombardment
I
was
got
only
some lucky
1
heals.
damage
I got
'cause
some
of
lucky
the,
heals as well.
Yeah, he got lucky heals on that too.
I got lucky on that. I was really I was really at a disadvantage in the last turn. You have to go to somewhere else so I can kill your 2 other like the tank and the trooper with the hit and run. Or if you just don't roll 6 on Utapo, then I'm out of there right away and just relocate to this corner of the map.
Yep,
Which
yep.
is
I
far
just,
from
I think if I do 2 damage to the Vanguard instead of 2 damage to the Trooper, I'm in a better shape there.
You had every chance to win that game in that last combat. I would even say that you had better chances to win that game in the last combat. So yeah, after all, like the game sometimes just comes down to a dice roll. But
I passed on Veers. That would have been helpful, I suppose, that last turn.
why?
I passed on Veers for Soontir, I think, if I remember correctly.
Why would Veers be? Oh, because you can write. It's so like.
Well, strip the generator, blow up the ion cannon, and then do.
I would have picked Soontir as well. Soontir as well, just because it can mess with my deployment choices. Although I didn't have any ships, but still. I think it was a good choice. Veers would have been better, but you couldn't know.
Couldn't have predicted that.
Situational stuff.
Yep, felt like I kind of had mediocre heroes there for a little while.
Without Vader, yeah.
Bunch of
Imperial
admirals.
I mean, I can't really. I can't really complain. I would have really liked to get. And who wouldn't want to get 1 million? The block on my Gita really messed me up.
Yeah, I thought that was
otherwise
my best
I can
chance
just
to try to
send
build
your.
up there.
Yeah, but otherwise I just somehow try to
Loyalty,
go there with every
sabotage,
loyalty
attack.
unit, and then next turn just do independent.
Right, makes sense.
Yeah. Don't
You want to take a few minute break and then reload it?
Yeah, definitely. It was a close one. I don't know. I could have gone. I think you play around cut supply lines a lot, and I think I picked up crippling blow instead of that, so that was okay. Should have gone for long war instead of. I didn't even know what I had. I had regional instead.
I knew you were trying for it. I just didn't have the heroes to deal with it.
I know. I wasted a lot of resources trying to. I mean, a lot of loyalty missions trying to clear that out. It would have been a really good relocation. Like, I think it would have secured me a victory if I get to relocate there while you are out in Endor. Like,
yep. I agree.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. I was hoping you wouldn't block it with that.
Turn before last looks something like. No, maybe not that. Alderaan, I think, was open, so I was just trying to get everything within 1 move.
I didn't know about Alderaan. I didn't know about Dagobah, Naboo, and Kessel came up earlier on the Rapid.
Well, you guys gave us a great game because we were predicting what was going to happen, and we at one point said, well, now for sure Combat Wombat's going to win, and then it didn't happen, and so that couldn't have been a better drama, I think. So you guys did your job very, very, very well. We were sort of saying, all right, if he draws, almost certainly, Kornel's going to win as long as he draws like Uprising or Incite Rebellion, and then he didn't, and then we're like, okay, well, looks like Combat Wombat's going to win, and so it was absolutely perfect in terms of an exhibition match to get people excited. So good job.
Exhibition drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, great game.
Yeah, you did play very well. I think, like, yeah, if I don't get really lucky with those 2 lightsabers in the end, you would definitely win this. But you
Or
didn't
base
really leave me a
defenses.
choice.